Oh yeah, okay. So let's just step right into this, shall we?
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to Gorman on Gore. I am your host, Peter Gorman. With me once again is the indefatigable Jacob. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well. No, it's the other guy. No, I'm doing all right.
Listen, if you don't start bringing in the magic, I'm going to bring in a better Jacob.
Uh, Please don't. He makes fun of me, and I don't like it.
I was just imagining that we could just have another silent character, a Jacob in the corner, in chains, just waiting.
What do you mean, character?
I'll wake up the Jacob, take him out of his box.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll make that. That's canon now.
Okay. It's debatable whether I'll even keep this part of our whole conversation.
It's too late. You did the intro.
That's true. It's all ruined. Everything's ruined. Okay.
Way to go.
So, God only knows what day this will air. But for us, it is the first few days of 2021. So now that the horrors of 2020 are behind us, do you have any New Year's resolutions you'd like to share with us?
Oh, jeez. I was gonna, resolve to not stress myself out with resolutions like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that puts so much, pressure on me.
Yeah, I was thinking mine might be to start cranking out more content on the podcast.
Okay, you know what? Sure, that's good too. I like that. All right, we'll both do that.
Sure. I mean, New Year's resolutions are crap anyway. It's sort of almost a way of shaming yourself for all of the inactivity that you brought in, or didn't do on the previous year,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, so last episode, we covered Wait a minute. No, wait. Before anything, I was talking about a Frankenstein movie in the last episode.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so the previous episode, we were doing The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. A decidedly good movie, and we had a tangent about a Frankenstein movie in which Frankenstein sort of clones himself. The inventor, Frankenstein, clones himself and then makes Frankenstein's monster out of gas or a goo. And I was starting to believe I dreamt it or something.
Yeah, that does sound like something that would be made up.
Yeah, well, I watched a clip of it. I found it. It's 1993's Frankenstein. Not 1994. That's the good one. Well, good in quotation marks with Kenneth Branagh that everyone remembers.
Mm-hmm.
It had Helena Bonham Carter and other people. Oh, Robert De Niro as the horrible monster.
Oh yeah.
He also played Frankenstein's
also
monster.
Starring Robert De Niro's Dawn.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was such a sad point in Robert De Niro's career where he was just always like a horrible monster. I don't know if this is before or after Cape Fear, but it's right at the same time. We're like, hey, listen, we need another thuggish oaf to play something in this movie. We just thought you would be perfect.
I mean,
okay, so back to this other totally unrelated movie. And this came out a year before. It's a made-for-TV movie. For some reason, Frankenstein doesn't stitch together monsters or dead bodies to make monsters. He just sticks his arm in like a strange magnetic field, and it just kind of clones his body into a really inferior copy of himself. That is Frankenstein's monster.
I mean, that seems interesting, but why you call that Frankenstein?
Well, also, if you're doing that, why would you stop?
Wait.
I mean, that's a strange question, but I mean, this is kind of related to our discussion today about The Fly. If you could mix things together, why not just mix things together? I mean, even if that's a mistake, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about that, and a little bit of spoilers. I read a special little sequel to The Fly 2.
Oh my god, did you?
Yes. The Fly 2 comic by IDW. I'll go into a bit of that later on.
Oh. I'm so pleased, Jacob. You did some homework.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy with myself too.
So yeah, today we're doing the classic sequel to The Fly. Well, okay, it's the remake, the sequel of the remake. That's the way to put it.
Some would say superior to the original.
Would you really say that?
No, but I do like this movie a lot.
Do you, okay, I was about to say some would say, but none of us would say. Do you know
Listen,
what the tagline for this movie is?
um, be more afraid. Be very more afraid.
Be increasingly afraid. No, actually, the tagline is disappointingly, like father, like son.
Oh, I kind of like that though.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it fits the caliber of the movie, I think.
Listen. Do you hear it? It's getting closer. Much closer. Don't be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
You could finish your father's work. You're as brilliant as he was.
Something odd is happening to me, and I don't know what it is.
I'm getting worse.
I'm getting better.
The Fly 2. Like father, like son.
Yeah, now we've by going to the sequel, a mere 3 years after the original movie, we really start turning this whole podcast. You know, we're going down a lane just by doing one sequel. We start going into some real gunk here. You know.
Boy, do we.
I mean, in just one sequel, we go from an acclaimed, Academy Award-winning blockbuster to a film of relatively unknown status, a gross-out flick. Okay, so I believe it is just simply called The Fly 2, right?
Yes, or as I like to call it sometimes, The Fly also.
Additional Fly. I wanted to call it The Fly 2, The Loneliness of Eric Stoltz. Even though that's the actor's name and not the character's name.
Oh, okay, I was unclear if you were joking or if you thought that was a good name.
No, it's not. It's
okay. Well, I didn't want to like crap all over your idea right away. I mean,
no,
okay.
That's more like my thesis for today's podcast. Actually, I
Sure.
was just thinking that's what this whole movie is about. It's about loneliness and despair.
I mean, yeah, but I think that's like maybe the wrong foot to get off on with this movie.
Well, listen, this movie starts on the wrong foot, and then it mostly stays on that foot. So,
Oh, what are you talking about? The opening's great.
yeah, well, we'll get to it. But first, I want to make a series of cautionary statements before we begin, which I have listed before me. Okay, so first off, in the Fly podcast, Jacob and I discussed the sympathy we felt for Gina Davis's character, who in that film had to deal with the thorny issues of an unwanted pregnancy. I have yet to edit that episode, but I'll just say that whatever I said and whatever Jacob said, I apologize for everything and anything we said.
Why? I was right.
About what?
Oh, I don't know. I think we were fine. Whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying to get ahead of this.
All right, man.
I'm just heading it off. That's what this is. These cautionary statements are heading it off. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, honestly, this is the most minor of the points. I mean, not to to play down any of those issues, but the rest of these are more future cautionary warnings. If you understand where I'm going with this.
I think I do.
So, I also want to lay out a trigger warning for audiences out there. A dog straight up dies in this movie. There is outright animal abuse.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, Jacob, I don't know if you know this, but there is a website for people who are upset by traumatic things called doesthedogdie.com.
I am aware of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you visited before?
I have, but not like for the sake of looking up if a movie I'm about to watch has like a dog that died. It was more of like curiosity because I heard about the site.
That's awesome. So I found out that this movie is in doesthedogdie.com.
Huh.
And it is, and just for the audience and anyone else who's never been there, it's a searchable archive of films that are rated by the upsetting events that happen in them. It's great because people who don't know that a horse dies in the American version of The Ring can go look it up and avoid it if they don't want to see it. Spoiler for The Ring. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's a big spoiler to know that a horse drowns in that film.
I've watched that movie and I don't recall that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't just drown. It also gets chopped up by the ferry's rotor. It's pretty great, actually.
Oh, no.
And the little girl who owns the horse like looks down and sees the blood like pooling behind the ferry and just screams.
Oh man, this movie seems better than I remember.
It is a great scene.
I saw that in theaters, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
you know
wow.
what? I did.
Yeah.
You know,
I did too.
I actually specifically remember that because I saw it with my girlfriend at the time, and we were like shithead teenagers who were being a little too rowdy, and some elderly couple shushed us.
Oh my god. I've never received a shush.
I was mortified.
Wow. Man, what a dangerous life you lead, Jacob.
And listen,
Shh.
that's a story straight out of my life.
Yeah. I saw The Ring. You know, this has nothing to do with the film at hand, but we're going to talk about it anyway. I saw The Ring in theaters too. And then after that, it was Halloween night, and I was going to go be a dummy on a doorstep in a mannequin costume. And while I was sitting there in my costume, I started getting so scared from just the idea of that movie that I had to give up and just come back inside.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god,
That's so precious.
that girl's going to kill me.
Okay, wait, hold on. How old were you at that time?
I don't remember, but, you know, whatever age it was probably too old.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you couldn't have been that young.
You know, I don't know. That film actually had a pretty profound effect on me. So, or at least at the time it did.
It has some memorable aspects to it.
Okay. So, I'm thinking, before we begin, that we should go through the checklist for doesthedogdie.com of The Fly 2.
Go for it.
Okay, it's a checklist, so we'll just go through this real quick.
Okay.
This will also be, in a way, this is a warning for people if they care about these things.
If they care hearing about the fact that a dog dies, I think we already we already passed that point. I feel like if they're going to be upset, they've already been upset.
Oh, it's not just die. Not just dies. It's not just dogs dying. It's all kinds of stuff. Here, I'm going to list it here. We're going to go through the whole thing. It won't take too long.
All right.
Okay, so these are yes or no questions, so we can just answer these together, I guess. Does the dog die?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually filling this out as we go. I'm doing a public service for America. Is there a dead animal?
Yep.
At least one, yeah. Does an animal die besides a dog, cat, or horse?
I mean, I suppose that really depends.
I'm trying to think. Well, no, humans aren't animals. I'm going to say no, but
Okay.
I don't remember. I think maybe no.
All right.
Are animals abused?
Hell yes.
Absolutely, yes. Is there dog fighting?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
No.
Does a horse die?
Nope.
Absolutely not. Does a cat die?
No, I don't think there's any cats.
Yeah. Are there bugs?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Does a dragon die?
Uh, okay, wait, what? What?
I don't know why this is here.
Okay,
I'm just reading the list,
okay,
okay?
wait, hold on. I'm gonna throw out a theory, okay? And it was
Okay.
someone who was really, really traumatized by the movie Dragonheart.
Or How to Train Your Dragon, maybe.
Did I didn't see that movie? Did the dragon die?
I don't think so, but I don't know either, to be honest.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with my Dragonheart theory.
I am the last.
Okay, wait, I haven't watched the movie in a while, but I have fond memories of that movie.
It's good. The CG is questionable, but it's good
Oh.
for its time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Maleficent takes dragon form and dies in Sleeping Beauty. I guess you could say the dragon dies in that one too. That's all I can come up with.
Yeah. I mean that's why I feel like I have to go with my Dragonheart theory. Like, what other like traumatic dragon deaths are there of note?
Somebody was so sad.
Maybe I was sad as a kid.
Yeah, that Sean Connery died
Yes.
again.
Well, okay, Jesus.
I mean, first Highlander, now this. How am I supposed to recover from
well,
this?
yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Are there spiders?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. Are there snakes?
Not that I can recall. Because there's that
No.
whole there's that big animal lab. So I don't know. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, there's a bunch of animals in there. I don't remember if there's snakes, but I'm going to say no. Is there addiction?
No.
Um,
I mean,
no?
unless killing is an addiction.
Kinda. I mean, yeah. I mean, he seemed real fond of it by the end of it.
I gotta say,
Does someone abuse alcohol?
Don't think so.
I feel bad because we should have done this for the first movie. We could have talked about Jeff Goldblum's getting drunk and teleporting himself for the first time.
We did.
Well, I mean, in the context of this question. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah. All right.
Is there shaving/cutting?
Don't think so.
No? Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of First Blood, when they're going in for Rambo's face with the razor.
Oh, yeah.
Is there amputation? Maybe.
I mean, in a matter of speaking.
There's a lot of crushed bodies. I'm not sure if things are ripped off.
I mean, one man does have his face separated from the rest of him.
Oh, he does it to himself. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Okay, I'm gonna say no, even though that's close. That is close.
Yeah.
Is someone tortured? Yes.
Yeah.
At least if we're going by,
Yeah.
the ending.
Yeah. Oh God. Yes. Definitely.
Is someone burned alive? No.
Well, I mean, acid burns.
Well, I don't know if acid counts, but let's just say yes, I guess. Is there cannibalism?
Not really.
Sort of.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean,
I guess if you think about it, yeah.
He's a fly guy, and I think he eats some people, so maybe. I'm just gonna say yes.
Okay. I would say no, just because it's not explicit.
Well, you know what? You've changed my mind. Okay, no. Now here's the big one. Does a head get squashed?
oh man, does a head get squashed?
Oh yeah, it does. It's actually one of my favorite head squashes I've seen.
Oh yeah,
just
absolutely.
Recently.
It's yeah. Well, I mean, we'll save talking about it too much for right now.
Of course. Are there any teeth damaged?
Well, I mean, when the head gets crushed.
Yeah, let's just say no.
Sure.
Does someone have a seizure?
No.
No. Is there eye mutilation?
This is
Yes.
Oh yeah. All right.
He rips out his eye. Well, not to give it away, but
yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're right.
for no reason. Okay. Is there finger or toe mutilation? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Does someone break a bone?
I mean,
Probably.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
The skull's a bone.
Does a parent die?
Yes.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Is someone kidnapped? Kind of yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Does a kid die?
No.
Yeah, no. Does someone cheat?
Um. Jeez. Okay, wait, hold on. Why is this? This is getting
I don't
really
know.
off track. I don't.
I do feel like we're getting out in the weeds.
Yeah,
So maybe I'll skip over this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through a few of these because these don't really count.
Okay.
Yeah. Did someone cheat? No. Is a child's toy destroyed? No. Well, wait. Actually, no. Are there clowns? No. Is there a shower scene? Oh, wait, there is. Yes.
Yeah.
Is someone stalked? Yes.
Yeah.
Are there jump scares?
Uh.
Sort of.
Yeah, they're like real mild though.
They're pretty mild.
I mean, I guess like. Yeah, I don't think I would even count it. I feel like if you're. They don't have like the. They're not like the intense like musical stinger like boom in your face.
Yeah. Is someone? Wait, no. Are there ghosts?
No, but I mean, I guess like metaphorically,
The ghost of
his
Seth
father,
Brundle.
yeah.
Just hangs over this movie. Is someone possessed? No, let's just skip that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, unless you mean like possessed by a fly, but no, let's not
I
say
wouldn't
that.
even call no. He's not even possessed by a fly. This is like I'm really disliking this, to be honest.
Okay, all right.
Well, no,
I might give up.
I'm just saying this is like getting off the track of like what the website's supposed to be about.
I agree. Is there audio gore? I'm actually not sure what that even means. I'm just gonna say no.
I mean, I guess like really like gross sounds.
Yeah, kinda, but I don't know if that's what that means.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I will say this is a gross movie. Grosser than most gross movies, even.
Yes, but still not gross enough.
Does someone fart or spit?
Yes.
Well, you mean the vomit?
Well, yeah, he spits it.
Well, I'm going to say no to this because the next question is, does someone vomit? And I'm going to say yes to that.
Emphatic yes.
Yeah. Is there a mental institution scene?
No.
Sort of,
Well,
no.
Well, like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, they're not at a mental institution.
Is electrotherapy used? No.
No.
Is there a hospital scene? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's not like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Are any needles or syringes used?
Yes.
Yep, lots of syringes. One gets broken off in the guy's arm at one point. Yeah.
Oh man, that's.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip a little bit. Is there body dysmorphia? Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Anxiety attacks, claustrophobia, someone died by suicide, self-harm, flashing lights or images, shaky cam, abortions, childbirth. Okay, wait. Okay. Childbirth, yes,
Yeah.
I guess. Does a pregnant woman die? Yes. I guess.
Well, you would count, I think.
Post-pregnant, but yeah.
Well, yeah, during birth, I feel like that counts.
Is there sexual content?
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
real mild.
It's real mild. I'm surprised because on this website, the only person who voted on that one said no. So they must have just forgotten that there's a real bland sex scene, like right in the middle of this movie.
I mean, it is really easy to forget.
Yeah. Okay, homophobic slurs, anti-Semitism, Santa spoiled, someone hit by a car, nuclear explosion.
Oh my god.
Does someone struggle to breathe? Is there a hanging? Does someone fall to their death? I think yes. I'm just going to say yes on that. Drowning. Gun violence. Yes. Blood and gore. Yes.
Yeah.
Car crash. No. Someone buried alive. No. Okay, that's it. All right. So I'm hope you guys are happy now that The Fly 2 has a much better response rate than it did before.
Well, I know I am.
Yeah. Okay, so now on to my third and final warning is that the slurping sound that you hear at the end of this film will haunt you for the rest of your goddamn life.
Dude, it's like not even the worst part.
Yeah. It's one of many worst parts. Do you...
Okay, like
Are you-
not going to go into it too much. This movie has maybe one of the most memorable endings to a movie that I can recall.
Yes. Okay.
It stuck with me.
Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into this gooey, juicy, weirdo sequel.
Yes.
So, the movie starts out with a buzzing fly noise that is actually a helicopter emerging from behind a sign that says Bartok Industries.
Brilliant filmmaking.
Yeah, I was so mad just right off the bat
It's like
that they started so corny, you know?
I mean, it's bad, but it's the kind of thing that I feel like were I to have made this movie, I wouldn't have resisted the urge.
I'm starting to get the sense that the director, Chris Wallace, he'd never directed anything before in his life.
Oh,
He won an Academy Award for the first Fly movie special effects, and so then they let him just do the entire movie all by himself. I think this movie makes a lot more sense when you think of it that way, because there's a lot of stuff that people like him would want to do, but all of the human interaction is so stilted and bizarre. It just seems like a series of things where he just wanted to do them and he did them.
yeah, I can't blame him though. I mean, I feel like if I, that'd be how, I feel like The Fly 2 would be like, if I made a movie, it'd probably be like a weirdo, like gross out monster movie.
Yeah, maybe so.
Oh, also,
I
was gonna say, minor note: Bartok Industries was mentioned in the first movie.
Indeed, it was. I was so shocked that he remembered that, Wallace or whoever.
Yeah.
And to go right to the evil corporation, apparently. I mean, in the other movie, they seemed like just like a nice consortium, like it was a fellowship you could get after you, went through your graduate degree or something.
Yeah. I never got.
But apparently in this one, it's just a big villainous organization.
I mean, I guess that, that makes sense.
I guess.
Who else would fund something so wacky?
Well, I don't know if they knew what he was doing. I was thinking, I don't know if you ever saw that movie, what was that called? I was about to say Pi, but no, that's a different weird movie. I think it was called Stasis or something. It was that time travel movie where they were trying to invent like a stasis field, and it ended up making like a freezer where like if you went into it, it would take you back in time. I don't know.
Shoot, was it like not a it wasn't like a big movie, right?
No, it was a little movie.
And
it was really confusing. It got to the end where I didn't even know what was going on anymore.
Shoot.
I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, that was a similar thing. You hardly ever see that in movies where you see a scientist figuring something out. And I was just thinking, when you're inventing something...
Peter,
what?
Sorry. Primer.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That is what I was thinking of.
Okay, all right.
Thank God you thought of it.
Yeah, that was gonna bug me. All right.
I gave you almost no evidence, and you still found it. That's wonderful.
Hell yes.
So yeah, it was that movie Primer, and they were trying to do something else, and then they found out that some bacteria was like aging wrong, so they just went from there. Like, oh well, we could use this for time travel instead. So I was just thinking, personally, I thought Bartok Industries was just some kind of general, I don't know, what do you call it, like a professional grant, just a fund, just to let people do something.
I guess I kind of assumed they were more sinister for two reasons. One, science in movies is always evil.
Just about, yeah.
And also, Bartok sounds a little bit too much like Batroc, as in the Marvel supervillain Batroc the Leaper.
Oh, God. Played by that French guy in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and that's all we're gonna say about that.
Indeed. Oh boy, everyone. This movie starts with a nightmarish birthing scene.
And
what
a scene
any
it
thoughts
is.
before I dive in?
I mean, I guess it's a little bit less shocking if you go like right from the first movie, because it's like it is more or less how they play out that sort of like nightmare what if scene.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard that theory that They wanted to have that be the ending of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of, that would have been such a terrible ending.
Oh yeah,
to an already sad movie.
but what a wonderful beginning.
Oh my god. No, here's the thing. This beginning is so sad and horrible that it's hard to get into the entire film because of it. For me. I mean, I don't know how it was for you.
I mean, I saw the back of the box and I saw a quilt fly monster, so I was ready for anything.
Okay.
I was committed at that point. Come on.
Gina Davis chose not to reprise her role after reading the script, and honestly, who can blame her?
Although, like, as far as I can tell, from what I read, I guess she was down to be in a sequel. She just didn't like that her character died.
Well, her character's pointless. She just, is in for one scene, acts like, well, I don't want to say an idiot, but,
what?
I don't know how she
idiot dying giving birth. What a moron.
Well, no, in the original movie, she's a hard-boiled journalist, smart, wily, experienced, very decided on what she wants to do.
Sure.
Yeah. And then in this movie, somehow, she's either forgotten everything or she's wasted so much time thinking about it. Nothing's explained. She's just suddenly having the baby. The only way I can save her character from being an idiot, I mean, this isn't her fault, but I mean her character as written, is that she was in stasis or maybe comatose, something like that. And then she just wakes up right as she's giving birth. It's like, oh no, I really didn't want this.
I feel like that's darker, man. I don't know.
While she's giving birth, she says, Bartok, you promised it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Well, I mean, maybe she really thought it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that in a silly voice. It's a horrible scene.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm getting a little sick of you insulting this dying pregnant woman. It's kind of messed up, man.
The way she's written, they're just getting rid of her, and it's horrible. That's what I'm getting at here.
Well, but like they can't have the movie with her still around.
No, they could, and that's the thing that bothers me most.
And
in the first movie, I remember we spoke about how we wanted to do things like we would mention changes that would actually make the movie worse because it's funny.
All right.
With a good movie, you're just like, it would be funny if this happened. But what's a bad movie or a less good movie? Let's just be diplomatic.
Yeah, I actually like this movie, so can you not insult it?
Well, okay. At least for this scene, especially, this would have saved the whole movie for me if they had just had Gina Davis's character in the movie as a prisoner in the compound. I mean, why not? Just have her just hang around,
For what purpose in the movie though?
There wouldn't have been a lot of purpose. I mean, I probably would have killed her later anyway, but it would have been more meaningful. You could have had her in a cell nearby or just raising her child, but she just can't leave. And she keeps telling him about the outside world. He loves her dearly, and then later on when she dies, it's extra tragic.
But why would she go? Why would she go along with that?
She wouldn't. She'd be there against her will, and she'd be,
well, what I'm saying
giving
is,
guards trouble.
But like his whole thing is Bartok's whole thing is he wants to like come across as like a nice fatherly figure. Having a mother who's constantly like, he's evil as hell would undermine that.
I guess so.
She has to die.
You're defending Bartok's character, but he's like a really boring James Bond villain.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
There are parts of the movie where I really like him, but I like what they're trying to go for, I guess. But I don't think it plays out very well. Well, I mean, okay, spoilers. It plays out wonderfully, but I feel like they could have done more with it.
Yeah. So her ex-lover and boss from the previous film, Mr. Stathis, is also up in the observation deck. He seems to be in the scene just to be upset and leave. He doesn't do anything.
Well, I mean, it's, a little bit of spoilers, foreshadowing.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. It gives him slightly more to do in his later useless scene. I love his character in this movie, so I don't want to berate him. It's just more he serves very little function in the film. Okay,
I will say this. He has my favorite line in the movie.
Oh, do you remember it?
Yeah. Well, we'll wait until we get there.
Oh, all right.
I made note of it.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I actually wrote this and I underlined it. Bartok is one of the most boring and emotionless villains ever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have done something to make the whole like villain slash like father relationship with Martin is really interesting. It's not handled really well.
No, it's not handled well, but it is an intriguing concept. I will give you that.
Yeah, I guess that's what I liked about him. He's a good concept.
Yeah. Just to keep up with the events of the film, Bartok flies in. He watches Gina Davis's character, now a different actress. It cries that he had broken whatever promise he had made to her. She sees a cocoon thing come out of her. I think it looks kind of cute. And then she dies of fright.
Yeah. Also, it looks gross as hell, man.
I don't know. I think it looks like a chicken nugget or something.
Jesus, I don't know.
It's kind of wiggly.
I don't know. Okay, first of all, that's making me really like second guess my feelings on chicken nuggets.
My deep, abiding love of chicken nuggets.
Listen, they're a nice snack every now and then.
Yeah, I tend to think that the chicken nuggets are probably created with some kind of horrible process anyway. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I made the mistake of looking at the video of how they're made. Don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, not fun.
So.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's get back to the horrors of the movie rather than the horrors of reality.
Yeah.
So the doctors declare this is such a good line. The doctors just declare there's something moving in there, and then just sort of carelessly rip open this thing they've never seen before.
Special mention of the horrified look on the doctor's face.
Yeah, really.
That's some great face acting there.
Just what a professional.
Yeah.
I mean, where'd they hire this guy? They're just like, listen, we need this secret project. There's some weird stuff's gonna happen. Just make a big silly face when it does, okay, please?
Peter, come on. don't undercut me like this. It's a fun detail.
No, I do like I do like the face. Okay, so yeah, they rip the cocoon open, and there's just a normal looking baby in there.
Yep.
Wah, wah.
Nothing can possibly
Gina Davis,
go wrong.
Yeah, Gina Davis died for no reason.
I mean, I feel like just giving birth to a maggot's like that's gotta. I mean, I feel like that probably killed her more than the fear.
Well, that's the thing that bothers me. I was just thinking, if she brought whatever this is to term, why is she surprised? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't she have accepted that this is happening if that's what's happening? She made some kind of a deal with Bartok. They don't say what it is, but she just seems so shocked. She's like, I wasn't expecting this. You know, that kind of, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think they were probably super upfront with the fact that she was giving birth to a maggot baby.
Yeah, do you think they were doing ultrasounds and they just weren't showing it to her?
Maggot baby. Yeah, probably.
Maggot baby.
Maggot. It's fun to say. Maggot baby.
Yeah.
Maggot baby.
So yeah, the doctor holds up the normal looking baby to Mr. Bartok on the viewing gallery like it's the Lion King. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's just the cold open. Any final thoughts on that scene?
It's horrifying but memorable.
I had to turn the volume down. Once again, I had to wimp out a little bit just to be able to finish it.
It's kind of funny. I guess I didn't realize it. I guess I have a higher like tolerance threshold for this kind of gross out stuff.
Well, everyone's got different things. You know, we all have our different lines. And I think one of mine might be horrible birth scenes. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
At least in the Fly movies, both of them really, really horrify me.
Oh, shoot. God, what was that? It was like, was it Hot Fuzz? We were watching a movie. We're not to go too deep into an anecdote.
Oh,
but,
I do remember that.
When the guy
I already know what you're about to say.
When the guy got his head crushed, he is like, your like hands like over your mouth. It was adorable. You were so shocked.
It was actually, I believe it was the scene where the guy who once played James Bond, I've already forgotten his name. He trips and he like pierces his chin and the steeple of the rock or whatever it was goes up through his mouth like. I
know. Like we were.
I love horror movies, but I kind of have to steel myself. I have to expect something to happen, and so when it happens somewhere unexpected, I do like freak out a little bit, like anyone else.
I guess
Like, "Oh!"
I thought it was adorable. Like we were all laughing, and then you just had this horrified look on your face. I had no idea.
Well, I mean, isn't that what horror's supposed to do?
I get.
Isn't it supposed to cut you
I
a
mean,
little bit?
yes, but we're also talking about a comedy movie.
Well, that's the thing. There's different expectations for different genres, you know?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, there's a few things, mostly that, that first scene is really hard for me to get through. The rest of the movie I have a lot more fun with.
Yeah.
So that was just the cold open, just to whet your appetite for what's coming next. You're like, yeah, let's just have this possibly non-consensual birthing scene and then dying of fright and then just ripping open a goo cocoon.
And then let's get right into the wacky hijinks, squirty helmet thing, or is that? No, that's later.
Yeah,
that's later. But I hate that.
It's slightly later.
It's hate that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, just for the credits, Brooks Films is to blame for this movie, or to be congratulated, depending on where you stand.
Thank you for making this movie.
No, I'm going to be hard on this movie because of the effect it has on me, but I do have a special fondness for this as well.
Mm.
And this is a broader philosophy of horror that I keep forgetting to bring up with people, because when you tell a stranger or a person you've met, or just recently met or whatever, you're making a new friendship or a new girlfriend or whatever, if you say, I'm into horror movies, if they're not into horror movies, they will recoil and be like, why do you like that? And you can't always honestly justify it on its face, because no individual horror movie is perfect. There's a few that are really well made, but mostly it's more like a scavenger hunt where you take bits and pieces from various movies and you just appreciate like the pieces of it. Like a good kill, a scary scene, a good character,
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I'm talking like personal experience, but usually what I try and do is I try and like ease in by mentioning like I like horror literature or something, where it's like, oh, okay, they're not immediately thinking that I'm some degenerate that like watches the Saw movies or something.
Yeah, I am also not a torture porn guy. That was kind of just a period of time in cinema. I don't really feel like it's a type of person per se.
No, but
I guess
there are like it's a subgenre, and I feel like that kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, I feel like it stains horror movies.
It certainly colors them in a different light.
Yeah.
But there was always stuff like that. I was thinking from before that there was always things like Cannibal Holocaust and other exploitation films that have always darkened the genre.
Sure. I mean, like, I guess what I'm saying is like even like among like slasher movies, there's more, I guess, like artsy, giallo kind of like offerings that don't immediately like make you seem like some like gorehound weirdo who like likes these movies for like weird messed up deaths and stuff like that.
And not to disparage anyone who likes any of the things we just mentioned.
I'm disparaging you.
Well, that's just you. But like, listen, I just want to say, like,
you're messed up in the head, man.
Horror is a beautiful rainbow. That's all I'm getting at. It's a tapestry, a community of people with different preferences. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
I kind of like a little bit of whimsy. I like good character design. And for some reason, I have a soft spot for kids in horror movies. And I think that's part of why I like this horror movie.
Yeah, speaking of kids in horror movies, we should do, what was it, The Gate at some point.
Oh, absolutely. I was just watching that with my parents the other day because it just happened to be on TV on just some random channel, one of the free channels, so they weren't even like trying to watch it.
Oh, sure.
And I just walked in the room and I'm like, oh my God, it's The Gate.
It's a fun movie. I like it.
Yeah, I keep thinking the movie won awards for its special effects. I don't know if it ever actually did.
Probably should have. Yeah, I mean, like, it's got some great effects.
Yeah. Let's not go into it further because we're going to make a whole podcast about it. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank Darabont co-wrote the script for this film.
Huh.
And just before this, he had rewritten the script for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors.
The best one in the series.
Yeah, probably the best. I love any movie, especially horror movies, that use the power of friendship to solve a problem. So you can start to see like what my kind of a jam is. You know, I like a bit of almost childish whimsy in my horrible movie with bad things happening.
Nothing wrong with that.
And after that, he wrote the script for the remake of The Blob. Darabont did.
Oh yeah, another classic.
So yeah, another movie we should definitely cover at some point.
Yeah,
it's almost equally gross.
I mean, in some ways it's grosser, but anyway, moving on.
This movie feels campier than the first. It's like a Roger Corman film, and it's hard to describe why that is. But I just half expect to see a Carnosaur puppet locked in a cage at Bartok Industries. You know, like a little raptor, like with a hand puppet, like. Rah, rah, rah.
I wasn't sure where to fit it in, but I was going to mention that sort of Roger Corman feel to this movie at points.
It's got a weird something about Roger Corman in particular, and maybe just the Carnosaur films, because those are the ones I like best of his movies.
Oh yeah,
there's a very recurring theme about conspiratorial things, powers beyond the comprehension of normal men, usually an evil government or an evil scientist doing some kind of nefarious, borderline insane scheme, because there's a lot of that in this movie, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
The first scene after the cold open, or at least as far as I have this written anyway, Bartok is in a boring-looking boardroom with a bunch of doctors and scientists. He says that Dr. Janeway is in charge of everything. It's a lady doctor or scientist. I'm actually not sure what she is. I think she's a doctor because she uses a syringe several times in the film.
For a note, I just wrote Dr. Janeway, which I think at the time meant I was like going to reference the Star Trek thing, but I don't even know what I was thinking.
Voyager?
Yeah, I guess I don't even know what I was thinking at the time. Anyway, that's there.
Well, I have my own observation for Janeway.
All right.
I think the actress is cute. It doesn't fit the character at all because she's mean and evil, and spoiler alert, dies rather unceremoniously later.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if I'm a little weird for thinking so. So if the listeners want to, have their own vote on whether or not Dr. Janeway of The Fly 2 is cute, let me know. Because this is an important question, all right?
Or just like more specifically, is Peter an absolute freak?
I believe that's going to be an ongoing theme.
Sign off in the poll below.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Bartok says to Dr. Janeway, or says that she's in charge, or she answers to him, and he answers only to God. And then just ends the scene. The scene's just over.
Things you say when you are not evil as hell.
Yeah, it's just right off the bat. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I know they're trying to make him seem, in the next scene, he's like nice to Martin Brundle, son of Seth Brundle. But it just starts with like a weird scene of a boardroom where he's talking to people that you barely see these people in the film. And then it just cuts, to him saying weird things to a kid in a lab. I mean, I guess they're trying to keep you off balance, and perhaps the movie is too successful at that, because the first film felt kind of grounded. Even though it was mostly just in an abandoned warehouse for most of the film, it still felt like a real world they were in. Whereas this one feels more like a strange, gigantic play or a cage or something. I don't know how to describe it.
You're not wrong, but I feel like that's kind of to the benefit of the movie because that's how the character feels. I mean, that's his life.
It does seem as though it's the story of what it's like to be a homeschooled kid.
Perfect. I love it.
That'll be my running theme for the rest of this. Is Chris Wallace a homeschooled kid?
Dude, absolutely.
I'm getting that sense. Next scene, Dr. Janeway is just pointing a pen at a weird virtual growth chart, and it says Martin Brundle on it.
Okay.
And the chart Okay, you go first.
I was gonna say that chart when they're showing his growth is completely inaccurate. Because like what?
Yeah.
Because like at the point they're like, showing him growing up, and it's like, oh, he looks like an adult man, and then the camera switches over, and it's like he's still a little boy.
He's like a toddler at this point in the movie. Yeah, there's like a comparison chart, but they don't bother to have two images. So they just have a baby, and then it just grows up to a human. He's like, this is a normal baby at 11 months, and this is Martin Brundle. And it goes like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah. I don't know. I do wonder if maybe when they were doing these special effects, maybe they like went back and redid some shoots or where he was younger. I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking, we'll get into this a little more, but there's at least 4 actors who play Martin Brundle in this film, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know that we actually need any of these scenes. I mean, I guess I see where you're coming from, that this is supposed to be Bartok looking fatherly. So maybe they just needed these baby scenes just to show him being briefly nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I wonder if that's what they did, is they went back and went like, all right, well, we got to make him seem like there's some duality here. He's like playing nice, so it feels like more of a betrayal.
We need a baby. we need to have him talking to a toddler.
We need a baby. We need a really dumb helmet.
And you know what? It would only make the scene better is if he was puffing on a cigar and he just blows it into the kid's face. You'll be big one day, kid.
Look, no movie can be perfect.
So yeah, he looks like he's 5 at this point. He already speaks. They say he has eidetic memory and apparently never sleeps. Why is that a thing?
I was gonna say, are those qualities that flies possess?
Flies might never sleep. I forgot to look this up. So I'm sorry.
I actually did. Flies.
Oh my god.
Flies do fall asleep. So there.
Oh wow.
So I will say that is a point in my favor of the machine maybe transferring some kind of like superhuman quality over to people, and maybe by transitive property, he became a little bit superhuman.
Yeah, apparently. I was thinking the eidetic memory, the instantly memorizing stuff, might have just been some kind of eugenics from being Seth Brundle's son.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
although I don't like that, because I'd like to think that, because I don't really know that I necessarily believe in the idea of geniuses. I think some people are a little more predisposed than others, but I think it's honestly like to become a genius, you actually have to work at it. You actually have to dedicate your life to being really good at something.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Also, I looked it up, and I guess flies have the memory span of 4 seconds, so there you go.
So he should have slept in a weird fly way, and he should have forgotten things immediately.
Yeah.
Like a goldfish.
I've got to say, man, despite what the movie tries to portray, being a half man, half fly sounds very terrible.
I also appreciate that, as mentioned in the first podcast we did, that there is no orifice on his abdomen. So, and we will not get into why.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently Martin is some sort of a super genius. He solves a puzzle without really looking at it. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, I forgot to mention. This is some unspecified time later, and now he's about 12 in appearance.
Yeah.
So he's probably like 2 years old in fly years.
That works for me, man.
So in one scene, they have a lanky, weird-looking scientist who clearly doesn't like him, just asking him questions. The kid says, I don't even have time for you. Your stuff is so inane. I can do this while doing other stuff because I'm inventing a rad helmet.
Jesus, and what a rad helmet it is. Also,
it is a super rad helmet.
I was a little disappointed because I had to go check on Wikipedia about this. I thought that the Doctor was going to be, or was the same actor as the guy who played Dr. Hill from Reanimator. But they look similar. But no, it's not the same guy.
I know who it is. I did look it up because the guy is familiar, and I've seen him in something, and I couldn't figure out what it was for a second, or at least for a while. I thought it was the lanky guy from the Friday the 13th movies. The Death Curse guy, who wore the silly hat. He's like, "You're all doomed, doomed," and he would ride away on a bicycle like he was, the Wicked Witch of the West or whatever, like in Wizard of Oz. But no, it's not even that guy. It's actually the guy who was in the It made-for-TV movie. He's the dad of Beverly Marsh. He is Al Marsh.
Excellent.
And then he did 9 billion things on TV after that.
I don't doubt it for 1 second.
I don't know for sure, but I think The Fly 2 might be one of the only movies he was ever in. And even in this movie, he looks weird and out of place.
Yes.
I wonder if he was chosen for that reason. Like, well, I want a real lanky and awkward looking guy to be one of the assistants.
Probably. I don't know how. Yeah, I really don't know how that kind of like process works, but yeah. I can see it.
So the kid just, I don't know, he was allowed to build a crazy helmet, and it's a big silver thing. It looks kind of like a football helmet almost, or like a motorcycle helmet actually. But it's got like all kinds of goggles and weird little movable parts. It has a nozzle at in between his two eyes that shoots water so that he can spray the doctor in the face when he asks what it does. Oh, it's impressive, Martin, but what else can it do? And it just sprays water all over his face.
Yeah. Some very...
And that's just some good... that's just some good fun right there.
Yeah, some wonderfully fitting slapstick in this very silly movie.
Yeah, this is only 2 scenes away from the scene where his mother dies in childbirth.
Yeah. That's part of why I think some of this stuff was like filmed later.
Yeah, it seems like a bunch of disparate parts that are sort of just kind of hung together.
Yeah, I guess I can't imagine that being the flow of ideas in the writer's mind was, and then the squirty helmet.
Nobody in the lab seems to like this kid. I don't know why they're all so nasty to him.
I mean, he's a little piece of shit know-it-all.
Well, he kind of is a little bit of a jerk. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. He's arrogant in that super genius way.
Yeah, like I said, little stupid piece of shit know-it-all.
And even though Dr. Janeway is in charge of everything in this project, and for some reason she has the job of like a phlebotomist, so where she's always the one taking the syringe and jamming it into his little arm, and she hates it.
I mean...
Like, why does she keep doing it if she hates it? She could have had any of them do it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, what would she even do otherwise in this movie?
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. She has no purpose. It seems as though her only job is to angrily stick a syringe in his arm. It's the only thing she ever does in the film.
Peter, I'm going to ask you a question.
Shoot.
Is that what you like about her?
No, I really don't. And that's the thing. I feel like her character is ill-used. And I don't like her character. It's more, I just like the actress. I don't like anything about her character. All of the characters are crappy two-dimensional scientists and doctors who just hate this kid.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just personal curiosity,
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give the false impression that that's why I like her. It's not. I guess I don't hold it against her. I don't know. She needed more character development. That was the issue.
All right. No, fair enough. Fair enough.
I just wrote here that it's already so much weirder of a film than the previous movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We already mentioned this a little bit, but Martin has a sort of father-son relationship with Mr. Bartok, but Mr. Bartok is always working. I assume he's just living a normal life out in the world. I mean, in fact, I wish there were scenes of this where he's like at an awesome vacation home, and he gets weird calls. And they're like, oh, he has to go to his job on the weekends. And it's just being in this horrible, grimy lab with this little kid.
I mean, I feel like that's the implication because, I mean, he had to be flown in by helicopter when the lady, when his mom was giving birth.
He was so eager to watch that birth. I feel as though if I was Mr. Bartok, I would have just skipped that part of it.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is that he wasn't there, though. And he was excited. So it makes me think that he is out just... living it up when, while Martin is, cooped up.
Yeah, probably. And again, that would have helped in a more subtle way, let you dislike him as a character and also allow you to understand him a little better.
Peter, this movie does not do subtlety.
No, it really doesn't. Martin steals a keycard code. It's not the keycard. He steals the code from the keycard because one of the scientists says that he doesn't have Zone 4 access to be able to check out the entirety of the place in which he lives. Some kind of gigantic labyrinth. How do you say that? Labyrinthine maze-like labs. Full of useless corridors and gigantic air vents that you can just walk around in. So yeah, he puts on his crazy spy helmet as if that's going to disguise him somehow. This giant silvery spaceman helmet, and he just walks out into the air vents.
I mean, maybe it would he'd spray people who catch him. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking when I first saw these scenes that, well, for one thing, the air vents are enormous, and I just couldn't figure out why. This is blowing my mind how big these air vents are. Why are they like this?
Yeah, that's kind of weird too. I mean, wait, does he crawl around in them later? I don't think so.
He does.
Does he?
Yeah, actually, he does.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right, that's why.
When he's a giant fly. So actually, all of these scenes appear to exist in order to explain why the fly monster does things at the last half of the movie. So how would he know where to get to these various destinations? Oh, he did it as a kid when he was wearing a silly spy helmet.
I will say that does make the squirty helmet a little darker. I didn't think of that. Oh God.
When he goes to a door with the helmet on, I noticed there's a light on the back of his head, and I figured out what it is because when he stops moving, it turns red.
Thank God. What is it?
No, I mean that's what it is.
Really?
It's a stoplight.
Jesus.
It's the stupidest thing.
Oh, that's really dumb.
So how would that even work? It's like it must have a speedometer in it of some sort. So when he's not moving, it just goes red.
Oh, I mean that just shows he's smart.
Yeah, or I guess maybe it's just a kid's fancy that the first thing you want to make as a young genius is sort of like a Ninja Turtles helmet. Martin Brundle. I won't always say his full name, but I will this time. Martin Brundle finds flies in a glass tank when he's wandering around. He puts his hand on it. The flies are attracted to it. I don't know why that's a thing.
Flies are very hierarchical in nature. He's clearly
the greatest
of
flies.
Yeah. I mean that's bullshit.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it's just foreshadowing, and maybe this is similar to the foreshadowing in the first movie where Seth Brundle cuts his back on a cathode or whatever it was, and then you see the little hairs on it later, like, oh, this means something.
It's for dummies.
So Martin successfully sneaks into an animal testing lab and befriends an adorable golden retriever.
What a cute dog!
I hope nothing terrible happens to this dog.
Oh yeah, I would sure be broken up if that happened.
So he befriends the dog, and then later on there's a scene where he steals food from himself, or maybe he just saves it, I guess. And he puts it in a bag, and he brings it to the dogs, to cheer the dog up. I assume the dog's being fed, because they have to be healthy for their unholy experiments they're going to do on him.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make, I guess, a whole lot of sense, but it's cute. Shows he cares.
Yeah. No, it's nice. And I remember this movie and these upcoming scenes quite distinctly for seeing them as a child.
Oh my God! Wait, how old were you when you saw this first?
Let me see. This came out in '89, and I was born in '83, so I believe that makes me 5 or 6.
Holy
I guess.
shit!
So,
That's maybe too young to be seeing The Fly 2.
No, I feel like I saw it at home, probably on cable, during the early days of HBO.
Oh.
So it was probably a few years after that. Maybe closer to 10, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay, yeah, 10's fine.
So Martin doesn't really need to explain to the audience that he's weird, but he has to explain that he understands it for himself. So he talks to the dog for a bit of an exposition and just says, oh, hey, you're not going to live that long, but neither am I, because I've got Brundle's accelerated growth syndrome.
Yeah, really uplifting scene.
Yeah, maybe they should have just called it progeria, and they could have just left it at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a callback to the previous movie, so whatever.
Well, it's also an excuse for him to be locked away if it's some kind of ultra infectious disease.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There are multiple shots of the guy at the security console just sleeping away as this kid goes back and forth for the dog, setting up the precedent that everyone in this lab is either incompetent or evil.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. Why else do you get involved in an organization like this?
One day, Martin brings in some food for the dog, and he's missing. There's a tag, thankfully, that just explains right where he's been, or where he's going, rather. It says he's been transferred to Bay 17.
So, why would they have that tag?
I don't know. They must be so rigorously disciplined that they have to explain where everything is. Because otherwise it'll be like a Gremlins 2 situation where maybe you're sending the wrong crazy vials to different people, you know, in Christopher Lee's lab.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It just...
This is the vegetable vial. This is supposed to be in the vegetable science zone.
I just feel like this whole thing is, like, the whole organization is set up to traumatize this poor kid.
Yeah, well, just... Not to mention too much of Gremlins 2, but just as that scene with Christopher Lee as a weird, wacky scientist who makes weird, wacky science gremlins is there to upset children, this scene is here to upset children as well. It just seems like a running theme.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like if you're a child, this is the point where you kind of bow out, right?
Yeah. So there's no way that this kid would be able to sneak past people while wearing that crazy silver helmet. He just walks right into the viewing area around a bunch of scientists who say nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean...
He's just standing there in Bay 17 from the viewing gallery. There's scientists all around him. They're just... Maybe they don't care. But I don't know why. Why wouldn't they care?
Well, maybe, you know, people around there do wear wacky science helmet things. I mean, they do have their wacky rainbow color ID badges.
That's true. They're reflective and holographic.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
But
I like them.
They're not children. I mean, you know, as soon as you see a little kid walking around, you're like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be here in our dangerous testing lab.
Well, maybe they just assumed he was undergoing some sort of, like, age regression experiment.
I don't know. I'm starting to question the scientific methods of this lab, Jacob.
Yeah, to be honest, at times I feel like this movie is a little unrealistic.
Finally, we get to some telepods in this Fly movie. Apparently, they've done nothing to improve Brundle's design, and they just lead a golden retriever into the telepod and charge her right on up.
Yeah.
And there's more than one shot of Martin Brundle waving to the dog. He waves! Bye-bye, doggy! Bye-bye!
Yeah, he just wants to, you know, say hi to his friend.
Yeah, hi! I hope you don't die! Or whatever.
Yeah, more, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that it really is more the latter than the former. So the dog is teleported, and they only have 2 telepods, and the second one is the black door one that was from the original movie, so you can't see what's in there. Because you know how scientists are, where they want like a real dramatic entrance for something when they don't know what it's going to be like on the other side.
I feel like these guys like have a bit of fun.
They open a door. Yeah, I wonder if they had to draw lots to see who would open that door, because it's full of mist, and they don't know what's in there until it's too late.
Well, you better believe that guy was excited. He
was.
He probably volunteered.
When he saw there, he was so happy. He was like, "It's moving! He's alive!" And then a crazy, mangled, warped dog just lurches out of the telepod and bites his arm. And
Yeah,
it doesn't just bite him a little bit; it bites his fingers off.
Yeah, bit of a day ruiner, to be honest.
Oh, wait a minute! I wonder if I was correct in saying that. Well, there was an amputation. There's a couple of fingers amputated.
Oh, yeah.
In doesthedogdie.com. We have to be accurate, Jacob. It's important.
All right, I'll wait while you figure it out.
No, it's fine.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Martin sees the dog and just flips right out. And then suddenly the doctors and everyone are concerned. They're like, wait a minute, what's a kid doing in here?
Lending some credence to my theory that everyone thought he was just a small little man.
Oh yeah, we thought it was Gary. He's really short.
Listen, I'm just trying to provide some logical explanations.
That scene freaked me out as a kid pretty bad. I think I might have fled the room when I first saw it. And then the scene just cuts right to a birthday cake. Yeah, Martin is 5 years old
Yes.
and has now become Eric Stoltz. Including the baby, there have now been 4 actors portraying Martin Brundle to the betterment of the film, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this guy, so the less we had of him, the better.
I'm starting to think that
I,
you're not a fan of Eric Stoltz?
He's a bit of a dork, to be honest.
Oh, that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, he's
No, I don't know. I mean, he's okay.
No, he's
I mean,
fine.
he's no Marty McFly. I mean, you know. So yeah, So I just realized something. This is like a weird, screwed up male version of a Disney movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, like a princess story. Yeah, there's like a boy locked in a castle and just kept from everything and just lied to his whole life, but he's got secret powers that that sort of come to the fore.
No,
when he
you're
grows
right.
up.
I haven't thought about it like that. That makes sense.
Truly,
Yeah,
this movie is an American
people
classic.
need to rewatch The Fly too with new interpretation in mind.
They need to unlock it from the vault and just let fresh eyes take it in once again.
Yeah.
So Martin has now graduated from his own private room, or no, from his lab room, I guess, to a private room. So it's like a weird little apartment with a really odd interior design. There's like a lot of pottery and a lot of pastel colors.
I was going to say it very much reminds me of my grandmother's house.
It does have a grandmotherly feel to it, doesn't it?
It really does.
There's a lot of soft pinks and pillows,
Yeah.
and things like that.
It almost endears Bartok to me because I can't help but feel like he brought his old man degradation sensibilities to it.
Everything has to be exactly as I say it must be. But this pot over here.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's funny to think about.
Yeah, and then put up this weird-looking speaker and put a secret camera in it right over the bed.
I want to know when he gets laid.
Yeah, I want to know every private thing he sees and every private thing he does. I answer only to God. So, but yeah, Bartok offers Martin a position trying to replicate his father's teleporter technology, which apparently no one was ever able to replicate after his death.
How generous.
I was just thinking how incompetent, because they've had at least 5 years. That's how long he's been growing up. And actually, almost 6. Well, I guess it depends on how long the pregnancy took to, come to term.
Mm.
Maybe it was accelerated. But in all that time, they did nothing with the technology. They still seem to have the same dumb problem that they can't teleport organic matter, but they could still just teleport inorganic matter and make a cajillion dollars and change the entire world.
On that note, they do mention an interesting use for teleportation that I hadn't thought of within the context of the Fly movies, which is basically regeneration through teleportation. Like, you wouldn't need surgery anymore if you could just have someone's blueprint on there, teleport them through, and then hey, they're just normal again.
I guess it's sort of the way I interpreted it. Maybe is, I was thinking of the end with a clone, you could take the pieces of someone you need and just keep them.
Oh god, yeah.
So there's sort of that.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing. As I said before, no one was able to replicate Martin Brundle's father's technology for some reason, and so Bartok takes him to Base 17 where the telepods are. They haven't really been using them since they deformed the dog. Bartok suggests teleportation for surgical purposes, which I think you just brought up. I don't know what he means by that. I actually thought he meant that you would just only teleport maybe a bad organ, Like you would teleport things out of you that are bad.
I feel like my way is better.
Wait, so were you saying to teleport things into you that are good?
No, to basically back yourself up in the buffer or whatever.
Oh,
then,
like in a Star Trek-y way.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what they had in mind.
I don't know what it is they do in this. They never really explain how the teleporter works, other than the fact that it can scan your genes by just going inside of it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So Bartok claims the teleporter dog didn't suffer long, and then offers Martin his father's old Betamax recordings to watch. So I guess Martin just kind of goes along with it because, he has nothing else to believe, and he's trusted Bartok his whole life, right? There was that one scene where he said a nice thing to him.
Why would he have... I guess why would he have much reason to think he's lying? This
is just like Tangled.
Yes.
Yeah, with the witchy lady just telling him who to trust and who not to trust.
Yeah, yes. In more ways than one, this is essentially Tangled, and I think we have a lawsuit on our hands.
So Eric Stoltz / Martin watches some unused footage from the previous film. I think it must be some of the test footage because there's a journalist asking questions that are in the movie, but they're not the voice of Gina Davis. I'm not sure if that's because they took her voice out, they ADR'd in someone else because Gina Davis didn't want to be involved in this movie, or if this was just a really early recording where they were doing a test of the makeup just to see how he would work in it.
I do think it's probably test footage. I think that just makes more sense.
Yeah. It's also an angle that he would not have been at. It's, no one was recording when he said it in that scene in the movie, so it's just an impossible scene.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Martin fixes the teleporters. I guess it doesn't even work with regular stuff because he teleports a phone and he's not sure that it's going to work. So that then he actually verifies that the phone still works by using it, which already shows that he is a much better quality control scientist than Seth Brundle ever was.
Yes.
This should be good enough. So Martin is wandering around and finds a young lady named Beth Logan casting a fishing rod lure at a target on the floor.
As you do.
As you do. The lure is a black fly, which I guess is foreshadowing, and he catches it in his hand and regards it in a kind of weirdly serious way.
Yeah, boy, does this movie it's foreshadowing.
Yeah, they almost should have just done the deep note of seriousness when he did it.
Yeah,
when he grabs the lure, duh. So
it's a fly, the
fly.
name of the movie.
Like he is.
You get it, dummy?
So Daphne Zuniga, I think I'm saying her name right. She's from Spaceballs. She's Princess Vespa.
I did know that.
Yeah, of course. And after this, she does Melrose Place and a few other things. But she's mostly famous for Spaceballs nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually think she's pretty great in this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, no, I like her. I mean, as far as...
I guess...
Well, I'm saying as far as, female leads who don't end up contributing a whole hell of a lot. She still has a presence in the movie.
It's not her fault.
No, I'm just what I'm saying is that she doesn't have a lot to work with, but she stands out, I think. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, for the first half of this movie, I wasn't sure why I was watching it in a weird way. I was just thinking, there's often some kind of gestalt purpose to a film, a wider understanding. You think oh, this is why they made this, is so they could have these cool scenes and whatever. But up until this moment, it's just been a lot of awkward scenes of kids and weird monsters and a deformed dog. So it took a while to get to the human relatable moments, and Eric Stoltz also by himself is a little awkward. But together, they're actually pretty good. Daphne Zuniga and Eric Stoltz are kind of cute together.
Yeah, I think that is sort of the, redeeming element to him as a character, is that he just works better with her.
Yeah.
Because, by himself, he is just kind of a, like you said, he's a homeschool dork. But when he has someone to play off of, he's more likable.
So, yeah, Martin and her make pleasant conversation. She tells him she's eager to get off of computer filing and onto to get off of computer filing on the graveyard shift. And he tells her that he doesn't get out that much and he never sleeps.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He was wandering around because he needed organic matter. He called on the phone that he had just tested to ask if they had organic matter. And I forget what the operator says, but it's just some weak excuse. They're like, I don't want to help you right now. And so
I understand that feeling.
yeah, maybe she was terribly busy. It was just like, listen, I don't know where a potato is or whatever you want. Just, I don't know. Just go to the lunchroom. So he just wanders around until he sees a cactus on a desk, and it just happens to be on this nice lady's desk. And so he's there to take her cactus. He doesn't even really have any interest in her initially, I guess because he's almost inhumanly isolated.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, if she's right about to turn him down, like he invites her to come along and like, hey, you want to check out my creepy teleporter thing? You know, it's going to change the world. And she thinks it's like a, how do we call it? It's like a game, or like he's boasting.
Okay,
it's not real.
I do think it's kind of fun that he has his same. He shares his father's methods of hitting on women.
Yeah, come to think of it, it's almost the exact same routine. Yeah. Even, and he doesn't even know it. He never even met his dad.
I don't know. There are moments like that where the characters share similarities, which I find endearing.
Yeah, I guess it's nice to have little echoes of the other movie.
Yeah.
Although to me, it just makes me a little nostalgic for the other film. Like, oh, kind of wish I was watching that one. I don't know. I actually think that there's a certain charm between them that, to me, it actually helps justify the existence of this whole film. I actually like their interaction.
Oh, yeah. No, I would agree.
So, yeah, he invites her along. She reluctantly goes along with it. He warps her cactus. and I kind of want that rubbery warped cactus prop.
You bet my Wookiee.
It's such a bizarre prop. It's just a little pot, and then there's just this weird, like, almost tornado-shaped cactus.
Yeah, it's neat looking.
And they have it in the background in several other scenes. Eric Stoltz, Martin Brundle, he promises to fix it one day, but he never does, which is kind of great, actually. He's like, whatever, it's just a cactus.
Eventually. You never know.
I don't think it's fixable. I think maybe he was just trying to be nice. He's like, I just really killed this cactus. I can't do anything about this.
Well, I mean, maybe it's still alive.
It does look green still, so maybe it just has some kind of horrible warped life.
Yeah.
Oh God, what if that's foreshadowing for what comes up? Oh my God.
Dude, like I said, this movie, it loves its foreshadowing.
It's so deep.
Kind of. No, it's not, but it's fun.
So she's about to leave after this, whole thrilling adventure. And he admits to her that he has no real connections and was hoping that she'd like to be his friend. And I thought that was genuinely sweet and kind of human.
Yeah, it was cute. I liked it.
So it's been years.
I was going to say, contrast that with, like, I think, like, immediately afterwards, they like, transition to that scene of the security guards, just, like, or one's just dicking around with his taser.
Yeah, there's multiple scenes where they show jerk security guards brandishing a taser, and I don't recall it really coming up later, but they do it several times in the film.
I mean, I don't think that's foreshadowing. I think that's just like, what kind of guy that is because he's playing with the taser.
Yeah, check this out.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these scenes are just helping reinforce the notion that everybody at this lab should be ripped apart by a giant fly monster.
If only. Anyway.
Yeah. It's been years, but Dr. Janeway is still bad at injecting Martin with his life-saving serum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that the first time. They're injecting him with this stuff, in the ridiculous lie that it's going to keep him from dying. And he's just gone along with it, because why wouldn't he believe that?
Yeah. I mean...
And she's so bad at this that she breaks the needle off in his arm.
Yeah.
And it
like...
Yeah, and it sprays blood and everything. It's pretty gross looking, honestly.
It's pretty bad.
And Martin refuses to get his shot afterwards and just walks away, and they just let him.
Can't blame him.
Yeah.
Probably...
I mean, I guess they know they know it's a placebo, but he doesn't know that. I was thinking afterwards, if I was him, I'd be like, well, wait, aren't they going to come try to give me the shot again? Or, like, it's weird that they just let it go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Uh, I mean, it seems important to him. He brings it up later, like it's a big deal. But they don't. I don't know. I feel like they're really bad at lying to him, but he's just not good at detecting it.
Yeah, which in a way I kind of like because they are just employees.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't have any real stake in this other than like their job.
it's their day job.
Yeah.
So Mary and Beth, or Mary, Martin and Beth start to work together on the telepod and seem to really hit it off. It's all very innocent up until you remember that Martin is 5 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to think too much about that.
Yeah.
Um,
So they have a little montage of them, dancing and having a little picnic in their weird cold lab.
special.
I mean,
Special shout out to the incredibly weird country music choice they make for this scene.
yeah.
I don't get it. Why?
I guess just maybe they just wanted something that was so different from the cold, grim exterior or interior rather of the lab.
I guess it just like does not like it's not even like an especially sweet song.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's weird. I don't know who made that decision, but it was the wrong one.
Like the previous movie, this movie briefly becomes a romantic comedy for a time, or something like that. Because Beth invites Martin to some sort of an office party, and he shows up in a suit and looks uncomfortable around people.
Yeah, and you see
as he would be.
You see Beth's work friend that she never mentions or shows up ever again.
Yeah, she never mentioned her before, and you never see her again.
Yeah.
She's there to say that Eric Stoltz looks hot, and then he leaves, and that's the scene, really.
To convince you. No, really, if you're having any doubts, he's pretty hot.
Yeah. She approves.
Yeah. What's your problem?
So, as Eric Stoltz is waiting around for her to... I don't know what they're doing. I think they're grabbing drinks, but they're taking a very long time.
Yeah.
And she's not even that far from Eric Stoltz. She's just standing, 20 feet away, and her back is turned.
Yeah.
And just in that brief time, however long that took, some workers go by and they talk about a specimen that they call Timex because it takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's almost worse than the teleportation scene is the implications.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. He doesn't know for sure what they're talking about, so he goes to investigate without telling Beth Logan about this at all. He just leaves and just wanders away to a creepy lab that's not far away, apparently.
Yeah. Continue on, but I got some opinions about this.
Okay, well, I mean, we're just going to go right into it. He finds a grim-looking pit with like a viewing window at the top. A man with a rake opens a slot and pushes pureed food in a metal bowl out into the pit floor. And then from another compartment, the warped golden retriever crawls out to feebly lick at the bowl.
Horrible. I hate it. Okay, but like more to the point, what is the purpose of keeping the dog alive?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand it from the sake of like a movie writing purpose. It's like that's kind of like the thing that lets him know that stuff's messed up around here. But I mean, from within the internal logic, it's just a dog that's deformed.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're just trying to see how long it can live after its life has been ruined.
Oh god, that's I guess.
I mean, if you remember that Matthew Broderick film Project X, where they test on chimps. Yeah. and they just try to see how long you can fly as a chimp after you've been irradiated. I guess as a test to see how fighter pilots would be able to, do a response strike if we were hit first by a nuclear assault.
I guess I wouldn't be a very good evil scientist because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, yeah, that's like a little cruel. I don't like it. No thanks.
I think it's just, once again, another reason to hate the scientists. I think it's maybe one reason too many, and it's really horrible.
Yeah.
It's a really sad looking dog, and it's actually honestly a pretty incredible puppet.
Yeah, absolutely.
for a deformed teleporter dog in a cheesy sequel film, it's pretty amazing, honestly.
It's very piteous.
Yeah,
It's deformed, but like you kind of want to give it a hug.
you still see it's a dog. It's got the sad dog eyes.
Yeah, Jesus.
So that is another thing I remember quite distinctly from when I was a child watching this movie.
Yeah,
Martin is very upset. I am very upset, and everyone who ever watched this film is very upset.
yeah.
Beth walks in and is shocked by the dog. Martin thinks that she knew about it because the dog was held in her sector, and so he just storms out and locks her out of his lab.
I can't say I entirely blame him. I mean,
In a lot of romantic comedies, there's a scene in the movie where there's a gentle misunderstanding.
I don't think this is not one of those.
That's the thing. This is that scene, where there's a misunderstanding, and he, and he locks her out. He says, "No, please don't. I'm sorry. It wasn't about me." But it's about a horrible, deformed dog.
Pretty understandable. I'd be pissed. I don't know if I'd want to hear an excuse.
Oh, what I mean is, it's so dark that it changes the whole tone of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So it wouldn't work for a romantic misunderstanding scene. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But nevertheless, that's where we are. Martin sneaks into the dog's pit sometime later. It snaps at him until it recognizes who he is, that he's his old friend.
Yeah.
And then he kind of pitifully wags his deformed tail. It's like, oh, God.
Jesus.
He comforts the dog for a while. And Stoltz actually plays the grief and sorrow of the moment really well. It's a genuinely crushing scene.
No, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I would want to be clear here. I don't think he's a bad actor. Like my feelings of the character aside, I feel like he does a good job here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't blame Stoltz for this.
No. I'm just saying.
It is kind of a hard scene to watch. He pulls out a bottle of something. I'm not sure if we can read what it is.
Chloroform, I think.
No, it wouldn't be chloroform. Well, could it?
Chloroform.
Because would that kill?
Okay, look.
You can kill with chloroform?
Yes, you can kill with chloroform. Don't ask.
How do you know
don't
this, Jacob?
Ask me how I know that.
I guess it would work. Yeah, you just keep going, right? You just keep it on the mouth longer. I don't want to have this discussion.
Okay, yeah, dude. Anyway, point being, yeah.
Point being, he puts the toxic thing on the rag. The dog dies. It's really sad. And then the scene just ends. And you're like, oh, boy.
What sort of...
Glad that was in there.
Yeah, what sort of completely out-of-tone transition are they going to switch to next?
Oh, well, Martin is in the telepod room, and he scans himself with it. I guess it makes sense that it can do that.
Yeah.
And then Martin invites Beth back by sending her a rose and a key card. But where did he get the rose from? I actually thought at first that it was a trap because I didn't think he would be able to get a rose.
I mean, maybe they have... they have organic matter. Why wouldn't they have plants?
He didn't have the organic matter. He had to go steal a cactus from her desk.
Well, yeah, but only because she was busy doing other shit. They probably had plants. She was just busy.
Maybe there's some botanical wing that he knew about but wasn't able to get into. I guess. Oh, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah,
At some point, he figures it out, or maybe he calls in somebody. He gets like a flower service to deliver a single short stem rose.
There you go.
Actually, I would love it if that was a scene. I would love to have that phone call in the movie. He's like, I want just one rose. Is that less money? Like, no, it's actually more money. Like, oh, okay. I guess I'll take that then. Martin invites Beth back. Like I said, she's happy, I guess. They reconcile only for him to immediately hold out a kitten. Like, hey, I'm going to put this in the teleporter. You want to watch?
Hey, remember that previous scene?
Yeah, remember that stuff that just happened? Or remember that cactus that I totally ruined? That's just sitting behind you in the same scene that we're in right now?
I will say, I do remember when I first watched the movie, I knew, like, come on. No, they're not gonna...
He's so pleased. I mean, I guess it's because he's figured it out. He wants to prove it in kind of a ballsy way.
Yeah.
But It's so pointless to upset her needlessly. And what if he was wrong? She would never have forgiven him if it ended up killing that cat.
Well, yeah, but also just from like a movie standpoint, they're not gonna kill the kitten. Come on.
They teleport it. He makes her push the button all dramatically. Like, now you're accountable too.
Yeah, the blood's on your hand if you really think about it.
It opens it up and it's a kitty's fine on the other side.
The kitty also never seen again.
Never seen again. Martin indicates that he totally reworked the whole teleporter system, partially from inspiration he got from her. This is also another nice echo from the first movie.
Yeah. I mean, even though it doesn't make sense.
It sounds like he just reinvented it all over again. And I don't know why Bartok needs the blood relative of someone who invented a thing to fix a thing. But he is some kind of super genius. I guess that's just a nice side effect of being a strange, spliced baby,
Yeah.
They share this moment with the kitten where they both didn't murder it.
Yes.
And then it cuts to Beth making love to a 5-year-old man in his private apartment.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we try not to think about him being 5, remember?
The way it's filmed, it reminds me a little bit of the awkward sex scene in the first Terminator film. It's like a lot of
Yep.
lower back,
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Like, that being said, not as tremendously unerotic as the Terminator scene.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It is a much better scene than the Terminator sex scene, but that's just not saying
Well,
much.
yeah, it's like by virtue of being bland, it's just better than the aggressively unsexy scene in Terminator.
I can't get over the fact that he's 5. I was just thinking he might have intellectually been an adult, but it just seems odd to me that he'd be emotionally like one, since he has spent his whole life around a bunch of scientists and employees who don't like him and are really awkward around him all the time.
I mean, I feel like the less time we spent dwelling on this,
For a movie you like,
yeah.
For a movie you like, you're doing a great deal of hand waving, Jacob. Yeah, just don't worry about it.
Well, listen, not to spoil things, but in a short while, the movie radically changes genre, and
Yeah, it does.
for the better, for everyone involved.
Let's get there as soon as possible. So, post-coitus, Beth notices the wound on Martin's arm from the needle, and it's all swollen and infected looking.
Yeah, very.
And
gross.
Martin... Yeah, I guess that is once again another echo to the previous film, with the strange wound on Seth Brundle's back.
Yeah.
And then it just goes to the next scene. And apparently Martin has one of those computers where you can just ask it questions and it will give you full sentence answers.
You mean like we have in the modern day?
Yeah, well, honestly, now it makes sense, but then it was silly.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just talk to our machines now and they give us quite articulate responses. But back then, I mean, it was all MS-DOS and it wouldn't work if you didn't put in the periods correct and stuff,
Yeah. Listen.
My favorite one of these 1980s response computers, though, is from the one that Wilford Brimley uses in John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's just like, what would happen if the Thing was released on the mainland? And he's just like, it would take over the Earth in like 37,000 hours.
Listen, fantastical wonder computer, the marvel of our age.
Yeah, you're the only one we have left because Kurt Russell poured booze all over the first one.
Yeah. Also, oh man.
But that's a whole other one.
Yeah. I'll get pissed off about that scene during the Thing episode. How wasteful! How wasteful!
How wasteful! You're trapped there, and it's boring as hell. And this is what you do.
Jesus.
So
Christ.
impulsive.
Anyway, no.
First week of winter.
I'm not getting mad. We're moving on.
I wonder if this is going to happen in every episode. We'll just end up talking about John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah, worse things could happen.
Worse things.
Okay.
Anyways.
Seth Brundle had wanted to strain out unwanted DNA by combining himself with others, namely Gina Davis and their unborn baby.
Mm-hmm.
Martin has improved this idea by cleansing one target of mutant DNA by transferring it to an unfortunate donor.
That's an improvement in some regards, yes.
No, I was thinking it's an improvement in every regard. I mean, you are ruining one person. You're lumping all the bad into one and all the good into the other. But I mean, that's way better than killing 3 people and creating one strange person.
I mean, they could maybe be like a hive organism that exists together.
Yeah, I was wondering if they had actually succeeded in teleporting Seth Brundle and Gina Davis, if they had just shared both of their memories and actually were pretty happy.
Maybe.
Like, we are Brundle community.
There you go.
Okay, so Martin sticks his finger in his needle wound and pulls out elastic goo. Gross.
It's pretty great though.
I don't know what it's supposed to be. It almost seems like spiderweb stuff.
Yeah,
but it's
I don't get it, but it's a neat effect.
One of the doctors offers an antibiotic, saying it is only an infection. But Martin knows better, since he's supposed to be a super genius and all that.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, did having sex with Beth cause him to turn into the Fly?
I never considered that possibility, and I refuse to do so now.
I guess this is kind of a story about growing up, so maybe it just marks the point in which he's an adult man.
Yeah. I suppose so. I mean, like, I feel like it's more of like a biological maturity thing rather than him getting laid triggering the transformation.
It'd be great if they talked to the scientists and they're like, listen, Martin, you had so much more time, but you weren't supposed to have sex. Why did you do it?
Everyone knows that when a half man, half fly has sex, they become
it totally it triggers a whole process.
Yeah.
Daphne Zuniga / Beth Logan, as she's called in the movie, is told by this scummy security guard, you know, the one with the taser,
yeah,
he's been a creep all the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
He informs her she's been promoted and given the day shift. Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm just baffled. The scene, it's supposed to be a villainous scene. I mean, I'm so confused because I guess they wanted to seem like, oh, they're taking her away from him. But this was a thing she requested on a piece of paper. And he actually gives it to her. He's like, yeah, we went with your application. Yeah, we know you wanted the day shift. You're getting promoted. You're going to move across town and do a better job during the day.
I do.
And
I do kind of like the implication that were it not for that, they were just never going to transfer her.
Yeah, I guess. But I was thinking, even if that was true, I mean, she could still visit. I don't understand why getting a better job and working a little further away would ruin both of their lives.
Yeah, no. It seems a bit silly. I mean,
she is doing a job. I mean, it's not really her job to hang out with him, right?
Yeah. I mean, plus just say that you have found a lady friend. I think he'd be okay with that.
I actually probably don't think that, but they never go into it, so we don't really know either way.
I mean, he went to a party without getting it.
They let him go to a party, that's true.
Without getting in trouble. I mean, why?
Yeah,
why not?
So then they start playing those games where the Bartok Industries operator won't let Martin phone out, and Beth is not able to phone in.
Mm-hmm.
So Martin wires up some stuff that lets him phone out. I have no idea what it is he was supposed to have done there. He just puts wires in some boxes and he's able to call out.
It's called hacking,
I guess.
I mean, that's how it works, right? It's like basically magic.
It is essentially a magic wand. And he's just, well, I mean, I guess I'll just make my own phone then if your phone won't work. I mean, don't they use the same lines to get out? Or I don't know.
Yeah, probably, but it's hacking.
Maybe it's just a really simple phone, but it just seems like a different phone because it's not the same one he was supposed to be using, and the operator was an idiot. Like, he could call her up and be like, operator, I need a phone out. Find me the phone number for the residence of one Beth Logan, who lives at a strange dock, like houseboat thing.
I mean, I suppose the real answer is we need to get to the Fly transformation.
We're getting there, all right? We're getting there.
Come on,
we're almost
man.
there. When do they get to the fireworks factory?
Yeah, when do they get to the Fly Monster factory?
It really is. I mean, honestly, the whole movie is kind of just a build-up to when there's a big, creepy monster.
Yeah.
Martin starts to look a little unwell. He's got the the gross face going, just the early stages of his flyism.
Yeah.
When he reaches Beth on the phone, she tells him that Bartok is punishing them for their relationship. He taped them having sex in his apartment and then handed that tape over to her. This is so weird. Why would Bartok do that?
To be evil.
Why would you bother? He's just like, here's a sex tape. I
I
know what you did.
I guess like my impression was that was more of a like the pervy security guards than Bartok.
Oh, wait, he did actually have that. I thought it was
Yeah,
Bartok.
Yeah, I
it
thought
was the guard that gave it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I don't think it was under orders. I think he was just like they were just watching it.
Yeah, something they could do. Okay, check this out. A really bland sex scene. He watches the tape. Or actually, wait, does he? No, I think he's just told about it. But
No, he watches. He does watch it.
Okay, so yeah, he trashes the hell out of his apartment, and suddenly those pots that were all over the place in there just make sense because they're there for smashing.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that scene is when it cuts to two security guards watching him do it. Like, huh,
Yeah.
that's weird. Should we do something? I don't know.
I think that's kind of funny because like they're probably like a lot of the security guards in this movie come across as real pieces of poo, but those guys are just like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah, they seem almost like the audience. They're just like, huh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, wow, crazy.
I don't know, maybe we should do something. Oh crap, he's coming in here.
Yeah.
No, that's literally what happens. He
No, I know, it's great.
Yeah, he finds the hidden camera in his own bedroom. He's furious. He knows right where the surveillance room is, I guess. He just walks right in, and they just freak out and flee in a very cowardly fashion.
What, are you going to stand up to him?
Martin watches a bunch of surveillance stuff. It's almost just a montage of things that might make him angry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he watches footage of Stathis talking about Gina Davis's pregnancy. And then there's a scene of him as a child with Bartok. And then there's him getting his room. And finally, Beth and him making love. So I think that's when he sees the scene.
Yeah.
Oh, and then after that, he smashes some stuff. And then there's a bit of footage of Seth Brundle, Jeff Goldblum's character, explaining how he got spliced with a fly. I guess just to explain to him what's going on. Something the audience has known the whole time. It's something he never knew.
Yeah. It's probably good that he gets keyed in on some of that.
It's such a sad scene, actually. It's a unusually bleak moment.
Yeah. I mean, like, the movie is full of bleak moments, but I mean, like, that in particular.
Because Bartok comes in to soothe him, and he tells Martin that... It's so sad, because Martin, he's not even being rebellious. He's like, listen, I'm sorry I was mad. I'm really sick. I need the serum, the life-saving serum you've been giving me. And Bartok is just like, nah, man, about those
so about that,
those weren't real. We just wanted you to feel good until your doom arrived. It's such a great moment because Eric Stoltz actually really plays that moment great because he's really sick in that scene. He's about halfway to his fly transformation, and you could tell that he was expecting everything to get better. And then he just told him that he's doomed to die. And he just kind of, I don't know, he just looks so sucked out of life. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, he just wilts.
Yeah. As I guess you would.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an unbelievably black twist for the movie to have taken. Bartok is accused of wanting it to happen, and he says, of course I wanted it to happen.
I mean, just in case you were conflicted about him being evil or not.
Yeah, he says he wants to control the form and function of all life on Earth.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but that doesn't sound good.
It's just wonderfully ridiculous.
Yeah. His motivation is literally just to be evil.
Martin says that he loved him as a father. Bartok stares blankly back at him, and then he runs away.
Yeah.
How would having Martin turn into a fly monster help anyone do anything?
What if you wanted to create an army of half man, half animals? So-called manimals.
Actually, I hadn't even thought of that. I was just thinking, also just from a security perspective. I mean, it's honestly the whole last half of the movie is demonstrative about why you shouldn't be doing such things.
You know, it's funny. That comic sequel to The Fly 2 goes into a bit of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's the idea is that they're like trying to, I guess, like create like evolved people to like do evil nonsense.
Okay.
I'll go into it a little bit more. Okay, the Fly 2 comic has such a bleak ending that I try not to. I don't. I've read it. I can't think of it as being part of like the Fly series because it's too dark of an ending for the series.
Wow, really?
It is a major bummer.
Even more than these films.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go into it later. It's like I felt like mad at myself for putting the idea that the series could end that way into my head.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Martin has locked out the telepod console with a secret password. It asks what the magic word is. And I love that one of the scientists just says abracadabra.
Yeah.
Only 4 years later, Wayne Knight, Nedry, in Jurassic Park would do something similar to the computers. You didn't say the magic word?
That's true. Also, I do like that the guy who suggests that is like immediately shot down. Like,
yeah, don't be an idiot.
I'm sorry, that's dumb.
Like, what are you saying? What do I pay you for?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, 5 years before this movie, in Ghostbusters, Venkman tells Walter Peck that the magic word is please.
He's not wrong.
Random trivia. I don't know. I was just thinking of how many times have there been magic words in a movie? There actually haven't been that many, but most of them were in the 1980s apparently.
Shazam?
They had a magic word? Oh, well, it is a magic word.
Yeah, it literally turns him into a magic man.
Which is why he wouldn't call himself that, because then he would uncall his powers whenever he tried to identify himself.
Well, Peter, you can't see it, but I'm readjusting my glasses right now. His superhero name is actually Captain Marvel, but
I know.
to a license.
Yeah, they lost the licensing battle. It's embarrassing for them, and it's great.
Yes. Anyway.
I'm glad it happened.
I mean, I kind of am too, just because that creates such a weird conundrum for them. Like the fact that they can't call Captain Marvel in his own movie is very funny to me.
Okay, so back to this movie.
Yes. All right.
Martin heads out to some residential docks where Beth lives. Martin does some crazy parkour jumps to get where he needs to go throughout this part of the movie.
Along with a weird swishing effect.
Yeah.
Also, okay, why does his girlfriend live down at the docks?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a houseboat or if it's just a really small house that's just on the docks.
I don't think it's a houseboat, but it is at the docks.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Maybe it's just to make it harder to get to, so that he has to jump for it.
I guess, but holy shit, what a bad job if that's your living situation.
Beth is wearing a blue sweater vest that almost looks like a tank top over a white shirt.
I don't recall that, but I'll take your word for it.
I don't know why I thought this was strange, but it just seems weird because it's like a long sleeve white shirt, and then she's got like a blue sweater vest thing, and but it's not like a full sweater vest. I don't know what she's wearing.
It's okay to say you're into it. I'm not here to judge.
I'm not into it, Jacob. I swear.
Okay.
No, it's just I was just thinking it's just a strange costuming choice.
I mean, I give almost every single fashion choice in movies from this era a pass.
I guess it is the 80s. I mean, that's kind of just all you have to say for this period of time.
Yeah.
Even if it is 89. I mean, they don't know what the 90s are going to be like yet.
Yeah, come on. They're still naive.
Bartok sends a van full of goons directly to her house. I suppose it is the natural first place to look. I'm almost embarrassed by the fact that they didn't really think about it too much,
Yeah.
Where is the very first place a young man would go when he has a girlfriend?
Well, I mean, maybe that's just it. Like, he couldn't figure out the emotion part of the teleporter. He wasn't able to get how he'd feel.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's really dumb. Please erase that part.
Nope, I'm keeping it. But no, they actually did anticipate, that these guys were coming. So I do have to give them some credit. They weren't there. And
Yeah.
it's great because they go the taser security guard guy. It gets real mad. One of the guys, a man named Thomas, goes upstairs in the weird little houseboat or house, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The lead guy calls up to him and says, "Anything upstairs, Thomas?" And the guy says, "Only a cat."
Oh, wait, is that the same cat?
Oh, maybe it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you see it, but you hear a meow. So I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I
could
guess
be.
so. Yeah, alright. I like to... Yeah, sure. It's the same cat.
So yeah, this movie goes up half a star for keeping up the cat continuity.
Yeah. Listen.
All right, so
It's the little things.
it's the little things in life, right?
Yeah.
So instead of being at home, Beth Logan is taking her sick boyfriend out for a drive. He looks horrible.
Yeah,
he's
not
got that.
good.
He's got that kind of Star Trek sick face where it's like a really pronounced cheekbones, kind of fake emaciated with like the sunken eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
The two are on the lam, and they just drive right to Stathis's super nice house. Did they have his address? I don't know how they found him.
I actually don't recall.
I don't think there is an explanation. They just kind of show up.
Yeah, I think that is just kind of how that goes. I don't recall a detail like that.
Well, he saw a clip of Stathis speaking in that earlier supervision scene or surveillance room scene. So I assume that he's like, "Oh, I recognize this guy. I should look him up." But I don't know if he says his name. So I don't.
Oh yeah, or maybe there was just like file data where it said his name and he looked it up.
It's possible. It could be that I'm just forgetting that they say his name out loud.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's probably an actual plot hole. I'm just gonna assume as such.
Sure, let's work off that.
Well, whatever the reason, he shows up at Stathis's house, and Stathis is only mildly confused that an adult man is claiming to be Gina Davis's 5-year-old son.
I do like the idea that he was sort of like, well, this was gonna happen one day.
He doesn't even allow him in. He like closes the door in their face, and then they just break the door in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, he just kind of like, what are you gonna do?
Stathis has a great monologue. Actually, everything he says is great.
Yes, including coming up, my favorite line in the movie.
Oh yeah, I wrote that down too.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Brundle stole my girl. Your mother got her pregnant, caused her death, dissolved my hand and my foot with fly vomit. I had no love for the man. He bugged me. As for the cure he was working on, he dragged your mother, kicking and screaming into that telepod that they might be fused together in one beautiful body. So your mother blew his brains out with a shotgun. There's your cure.
Basically, he's drunk, he's ruined, his house is a mess, he's disheveled.
His house looks pretty good, honestly.
No, his house looked great. It looked like he had a great housekeeper, but he just kept like messing it up over and over again.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little jealous.
Maybe he was uber rich from his time from being the editor of a magazine in the 80s. Particle magazine.
It was so hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, his house is improbably nice.
So yeah, he has nothing to add. They went out of their way to find him, or at least I guess they did. And he has nothing to tell them. He just tells them that Brundle lost his mind and tried to use the teleporters to fix the problem by killing Gina Davis's character, or at least combining them, effectively killing both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as if it's advice, I guess maybe because he read the script, Stathis says, "Oh well, if there's going to be a solution, it's probably going to be the teleporters."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. It's just I don't know why he would think that, and even if he thought that, why would he say that? I mean, because he hates the teleporter and he hates the fly monster. It melted off his hand and his foot.
That's true. I'm not. I mean, to be fair, it's more of a like he like clues in to the idea that Martin seems to know what to do, and just says, "Hey, if you know what to do, you need to do it."
I bet you have an immoral plan. You better use it.
You know what? That's entirely in character.
Well, it's more or less what comes up because Beth is like, "Well, it seemed like you had a solution. Well, what is it?" And he's like, "Never mind. I can't tell you. You know, even though the audience already knows." So, I mean, there's no real suspense. They probably shouldn't have revealed it to the audience first. I was thinking they should have saved it.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, man, this movie and foreshadowing, it's a killer.
So,
okay. So I was gonna say, so when they arrive by car, right? And their car is fine.
Yeah.
Because he offers to give them his car, and they
he
take
does.
it.
I thought that was cool.
I mean, I guess it's just for the license plate.
I think it was because they were looking for, their car, the getaway car. So
I get it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, no, it was like that's like the nicest thing he did in either of the movies.
Yeah, it was a selfless thing. I mean, I guess it was still a car swap, so he wasn't screwed. But yeah, he's just like, "Yeah, use my car. You can get away, I guess."
Yeah.
It was nice.
Also on that note, it's like been building up, but I like that they're fairly consistent about how when the Brundles, as we'll call them, are
the Brundles
are turning into flies, they get this sort of weird mania going where they start to like feel like superior to people and to like normal human beings and whatnot. It's a nice little like carryover from the first movie.
I like this part. I mean, not at the beginning, but essentially, like we can gloss over this a little bit. But Beth drags him to a motel. Martin starts going into a weird cocoon phase and just starts just kind of waxing poetic about a bug zapper outside of the motel.
Yeah.
The fly in him is maturing, becoming strong.
Until now, I've been nothing more than an open wound. Defenseless, weak, vulnerable. Don't you see? I'm healing.
Okay, I'm gonna go off on a slight tangent here. When he gets kind of like fuzzy, you know what I mean? He reminds me of the monster on the cover of one of the Star Wars Galaxy of Terror like Goosebump ripoff books.
Oh, really?
If you read those books, you'll know exactly what monster I'm talking about. Anyway,
Galaxy of Terror. They made horror stories for Star Wars?
Yeah, they were like Goosebumps ripoffs, but like set in like Star Wars with like they were like young kids and this like older guy, and they would go to like different planets, and it's like, oh my god, there's a horrible monster here, or like Minox or whatnot. They were neat. Like as a kid, I liked them.
I thought he looked a little bit like the monster from the Unnameable 2, if you ever saw that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Which is even more obscure.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, I just ask, is this a movie about growing up? I mean, I guess we've already kind of brought that up. I think maybe it is. This is a coming of age story.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all go through phases where we boil people's faces off.
Yeah. We all go through that time in our life where we pull out our own eye and then show it to our girlfriend.
Like metaphorically speaking, yes.
Metaphorically, yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean that's the next thing he does. He pulls out an eye, and there's just another bigger, or slightly bigger eye behind his other eye. I don't know why he does this, because it doesn't come up later.
No, I mean it's gross. So
Yeah.
it's got that going for it.
Oh no, wait, I'm lying. It actually does come up later in an alternate ending they didn't use.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
There's an alternate
so-
ending?
Yeah, there's an alternate ending where Eric Stoltz and Daphne Zuniga are out on the dock again, and they're just hanging out, and she brought food to him like in a picnic basket or something, and she says, "Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better." He's like, "Yeah, of course I do." Ha ha ha, kind of a happy ending. And then you
Sure.
zoom in on you zoom in on his face, and you see that one of his eyes has a black pupil and the other one has a green one, or is it blue? I forget. Whatever his normal eye color is.
Oh.
And it doesn't really add anything. It just kind of harkens back to the bizarre scene where he pulled out his own eye.
I guess. Huh. That's crazy.
I don't know why that's what, because it wasn't a fly eye. It's just another normal eye,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just something he does.
Sure.
Maybe he has super regenerative powers. Like maybe he pulled out the eye because he knew it would instantly heal, and he could just keep doing it. Like you could just have a pile of eyes in a bowl.
Yeah.
Every day I pull out my eye and I put it in the bowl. Okay. Beth is getting weirded out because he starts talking about how strong he is and how he's not afraid of him anymore, and then he goes into a weird chrysalis. And so she calls Bartok Industries, and they come and get him after he's all gooed up over himself.
Yeah.
He is now in a chrysalis. I don't know. There is debatably a problem with boringness earlier in the movie, and it's only accentuated by even more waiting for this brief time when he's in a chrysalis, because everyone's just kind of standing around.
Also, I would say, first of all, this is the point where the movie starts to shift genre.
Oh yeah,
pretty hard. Also,
I almost wish they just cut the entire first half of the movie and just gotten right to them with him in the chrysalis.
Kind of. But also, I really like how gross the whole chrysalis effect is, especially with the kind of semi-transparent thing where you just he can see out of it. I don't know, it's great. I like it.
He makes this weird continuous humming noise while he moves around in there.
It seems deeply unpleasant.
It does. It's really gross. So Bartok's goons force Beth to get decontaminated naked while being restrained by two guards in HVAC suits. The movie didn't need that.
No.
It's also why there was a shower scene mentioned in the doesthedogdie.com.
Well, now you know.
And knowing is half the battle. Dr. Janeway, everyone's favorite, is doing some busy work in a lab chair in the same lab as the chrysalis, and her back is turned to it. Why is she working in this room at all? They should have stuck this thing in the golden retriever's holding pit.
They're running samples. That's the thing.
Well, they do. Yeah, it starts to beep as if there's something going on with the chrysalis, and so she gets kind of concerned and just takes an injection out of it. Here's what I'll do. I'll just upset it a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a flyologist. Maybe there's a reason.
Well, no one is. But yeah, when it starts making noises and moving and gooing out, and she doesn't call anyone. I think it's because earlier they said, oh, well, it'll take maybe a week for this to grow into a full thing. So maybe they weren't prepared. But that doesn't seem like what you would do at any point with something like this. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you at least put it in a room with locks on the doors?
Yes. I mean, if I were a mad scientist.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
As one would expect, a big gooey monster comes out of the chrysalis and just kills Dr. Janeway.
Peter, I'm sorry. My condolences. Yeah. I know how much she meant to you.
Rest in peace, random doctor lady. Rest in peace. So, yeah, Dr. Al Marsh walks in and finds Dr. Janeway's body hanging from the ceiling. And the entire rest of the movie is a creature feature monster hunt.
Oh boy, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Bartok tells all his heavily armed guards that they cannot shoot Monster Martin, which right off the bat, it's just that's just bad management.
Also, I'm sorry, we are going to refer to him as Martin Fly.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Well, I don't know. See, I was thinking of always calling him that because he's always as much a fly as he is a person. It's just he hasn't really manifested it.
Yeah, but
I guess we could. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like now he's become the Fly Monster, so he's Martin Fly.
He's gone through his becoming.
Yeah, his quickening, if you will.
So there's a scene where two guards we've never met before send a Rottweiler to seek Martin out.
Very cute dog.
I actually really don't like Rottweilers, just from personal experience. I had a friend, it was Ryan, I believe.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
One of several Ryans I knew, but he had that dog Sheba, and she was one of those Rottweilers. She was never fully trained, and if you did a sudden hand movement around her, she would just flip out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like it's like a chubby, like trained Hollywood Rottweiler, though. It's cute.
This one is a cute Rottweiler, and it's a great scene because the Rottweiler goes out there presumably to go, attack and try to kill a giant fly monster, but they just get along, and Martin pets the dog.
I love the look on the dog's face because he is obviously very concerned about the practical effect thing petting him.
Like, what is this thing touching me?
Yeah, no, I know. It's like, what is this? He doesn't know.
So there's two different, or at least I can identify two different monster puppets they use for the Martin Fly effect. There's an upper body half that they use for reaching scenes and for showing his gross head and everything. And then there's there are these two cool legs that have a really good articulation, but they're almost certainly not connected to anything, and so they can only show them from beneath, like walking towards something.
Yeah.
And both are pretty cool. So I will give it credit for that.
I like the design.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little like the only thing that I kind of don't like is the eyes are a little too expressive,
Yeah.
You know what it feels like? It feels like the eyes that Godzilla had in sort of like the later 70s Godzilla movies, where he's like kind of like a kid's hero.
Yeah.
Where they're just
like the children.
They're just like a little goofy.
Just goofy enough.
Well, I'm just saying, the overall monster is like pretty gross and great, but then it just kind of has Muppet eyes.
It's a cool enough effect that they should have just leaned into it. I would have had the kid scenes. If you're going to have the kid scenes, they should have had him go into a chrysalis and become the fly for a while, like a smaller one, and then like go into another chrysalis and become the person again. Like he would go back and forth like a werewolf.
Oh, I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd have to that would require a lot of rewriting of the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to go through all of the workshopping of how I would fix it.
No. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
It's a neat idea, but it would require too much rearranging of things to make that.
Yeah,
work.
It would also totally undermine their meaningful message about growing up as a young fly man.
Yes, which is, I mean, ultimately what this movie is about.
Yeah, it's a movie about growing up
and family.
Yeah, and being homeschooled.
That's okay. That's what the movie is really about, the dangers of homeschooling.
Yeah. So Dr. Al Marsh uses the tiniest and weakest pen light in the world to search a basement that isn't even dark. And he has folders in his hand, and he has no weapon. I don't know why he's alone. I don't know why he's down in this basement all by himself. I don't know what he thought he could accomplish. So Martin, of course, just immediately shows up and kills him off screen.
Yeah.
And there's multiple. Yeah. Go on.
Sorry. I was gonna say I love the cuts to the security cam footage where they just show the fly monster in full body. They don't even try and hide it, and it's because it's a little goofy, but it's just holy shit! Imagine that from their perspective.
Yeah.
Like they don't even have the like. It's not even showing up on cameras. Where it is, it's like no. There's like an actual terrible fly man moving around.
Yeah, there's a big crazy monster running around.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
yeah, they keep going back to this guy, and
Yeah.
it's a very sweaty-faced man we've never met before. Once again, it's just another new character, and he's running the monitors awkwardly, and he gives Bartok really crappy updates. I wrote one of them down where he said, "You wouldn't believe what I'm looking at, sir. Whatever it is, it's dragging a body."
He's new. This is like it's
Clearly.
like his first. It's his first day. Come on.
Yeah, those two guys from earlier who did surveillance, they probably quit right after that, and so they had to get a new guy, and he just didn't know what he was in
Yeah.
for, you know.
Yeah. I mean, be easy on him.
I feel a little bad for poor Dr. Trimble. I just realized I never even introduced this character. He was the head of the teleporter division that was working with Martin Brundle to do all this stuff, except you never see him do or say anything. He's just apparently there.
Yeah.
And he's this nice man, and Dr. Trimble and Dr. Bartok and other people, the security guard guy, they've all gathered in Bay 17 with the teleporters, and they're trying to lock the doors. And Dr. Trimble fumbles the moment to change Dr. Al Marsh's security guard card, because Dr. Al Marsh was killed, and he had access, and so Martin was using it to gain entry to the telepod room. And I guess he would have gotten in, except a balding guard gets to Martin outside the door, and Martin hurls Martin picks up Dr. Al Marsh's body and just throws it at the guy.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great scene, honestly. Like he opens the door, looks in, and sees the fly monster. The fly monster picks up the man's corpse and just hurls it directly at the camera, and then the guy closes the door.
It's the perspective of that shot is also like wonderful.
I wish it was in a better movie, but no, yeah, the individual pieces of this movie are great. It's an excellent effect.
I'll still stand by it. I like this movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to disparage. Oh yeah, and then the bald guard says, "Sorry guys, looks like I lost him." So I assumed the bald guard was Canadian.
Yes.
Sorry. No matter, Martin sprays fly vomit all over his face. The man rips his own melting face off. Oh god, he didn't even die. He's just lying there gurgling.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, my notes, acid in the face, exclamation mark, the scream, period, gurgling, period, he's still alive, period.
It's something about him being still alive minutes later, and they see him breathing horribly, and gurgling on the ground. It's so much worse,
Oh, yeah, I mean, also, like, to go back to it, the scream he makes as he's pulling off his own face flesh is terrifying. It's awful.
Yeah. I don't know what that impulse was, too. He's just like, "Oh, my face! I better take it off!" Ah!
Well, I mean, I think it's, like, I think it's like a practical effect limitation. They wanted his face to fall off, but they didn't, like...
Yeah.
They maybe didn't have the method to have it, like, actually do so they just, like, did it. I mean, it works. It's great.
Yeah, it looks borderline real in a really bizarre way.
Yeah. Folks, if you don't watch this movie, at least go watch that scene.
Yeah.
There's no sign of him anywhere.
I mean, if you can stomach it, it's pretty great.
Oh, okay, like, I'm not surprising people with that. It's gross as hell.
It's a gross movie. This is a gross movie we're talking about, people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, wonderful effect. Next. Okay, so Bartok and Trimble seal the main doors. They had a little bit of time won while the fly was melting off the guy's face. But Trimble mentions that the upper doors have to be locked manually, so he has to go up there and do that. Martin cuts the power. I guess he can do this even as an insect. And he heads into the enormous air vents that he walked around in as a child.
Callback.
Yeah, so I guess the kid scene was just to set up that these air vents are there, and they are enormous.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I guess it's nice to have some continuity, I suppose.
Sure, I'll take it.
I think Martin has kind of a lizardy looking face.
Well, that's what I was saying about the... It looks a little Godzilla-ish.
Yeah, in a weird way.
Yeah, like, not a whole lot, but there's, like... I don't know. There's something there.
So, Martin jumps out of the air vent and through... I forget. He smashes through something to come in through the ceiling. I forget if it's a glass or if it was just the vent itself.
I think it's just the vent.
Yeah. So he jumps into the room, and then the head of security shoots him, and Martin runs away. It's like the one guard with the right idea, and Bartok keeps insisting that he not be hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Martin then throws a guard into the well of an elevator. Yeah, setting up maybe one of the best scenes in the movie.
Jesus.
Yeah, so the man feebly tries to crawl out, but the elevator comes down just a little too fast and just straight up crushes his head.
It's okay. It's got little, like, when his head like crunches in, it's got little bits. No, I know. Like, I'm just saying that, like, it's not like his head like pops like some like cheesy balloon. It's like there's stuff in there.
Yeah, it seems very detailed.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's just a little. It's not overly realistic, but it's just realistic enough to be very gross.
It seems almost like his head is full of just red kind of slushy fruit punch. It just flows out everywhere.
But it has the chunks.
Yeah,
it's like that's the thing. It's like the head in Scanners, where it's like it's not just that it's like, oh look, there's blood everywhere. It's like, no, there's like little bits of stuff.
I would say this is maybe up there, like maybe top 10 head crushes in movies or something like that for me.
Oh yeah, gotta be.
An excellent head crush. I have it triple underlined. Excellent head crush.
Yeah.
More guards come to protect Bartok, but they are sealed outside the main door. So they start cutting their way in with metal cutters, like solders or whatever you call them.
Mm-hmm.
The head guard gets some acid on his hand, but not enough to melt it. In his terror, he accidentally sprays Dr. Trimble with bullets from like a machine gun.
Yeah.
That poor man. He was barely in the movie, and then he just gets killed while he's running around on some gangplanks, and just like falls to his death.
Yeah.
Poor Dr. Trimble. You never did anything wrong, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, we hardly knew you.
Yeah. He seemed nice, or at least they gave him so little character development that he could have been nice.
I think that's it, more than anything.
So Martin breaks the head of security's back by folding him the wrong way, and then takes his. Yeah, he does.
Well, okay. Also, I would like to just point this out. That guard was the biggest asshole in the movie.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And gets the tamest death out of all the guards.
Yeah, and you don't even really see very much of it.
No, I mean,
it
like,
just seems like a very quick, like, fold,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I would not want that to happen to me if I had a choice.
Yeah.
But compare that to getting a face full of acid and living. I don't know.
And living. That man has spent the rest of his life without a face.
Honestly.
That would have been a much better ending for the head guy. Yeah, actually, they should have done that.
I mean, yeah, probably. Maybe for the movie, another pass in the writing.
give a little more poetic justice. But it seems like the taser was mostly introduced just so that Martin could now take it.
Yes.
So Bartok shoots him twice, and Martin just kind of rolls over and plays dead. And Bartok comes in, and like every great crappy scientist villain or James Bond villain, he has to go in close and do the monologue and point the gun. The fatal error.
Oh man.
Martin just takes the gun. Well, actually, no, he takes Bartok. He just picks him up and leads him over to the telepod console. And then he can't use his own fingers because he's a fly monster now. So he uses Bartok's fingers and very clumsily types in the secret password. I assume you remember the magic word, right?
Dad.
Yeah, D-A-D.
Which is so dark. Jesus.
It is. It's very sad and dark.
God.
Like, the ultimate betrayal.
I know. Jesus.
So the console says the gene swapping program is activated, and Martin drags himself and Bartok into one telepod, and Beth has been in the room.
Mm.
She kind of emerges here at the last second. They're stuck in the telepod, and apparently, Seth Brundle knew how to put something on a timer, but apparently Martin never thought of that. So he has to have her hit the enter button. He's a fly monster, so it was funny to see him in the telepod doing like a weird little like hand motion, like push the button.
Look, they needed to give her something to do. Because at that
I'm
point,
glad they gave her something to do.
At that point it was like she had just got kidnapped and she was just kind of like crying out. That was like her only contribution in the last bit of the movie.
Yeah. I was trying to remember why she was even there. Bartok kidnapped her so that he could get the password from her because he thought she would know it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he thought that, though. In the very beginning, when Bartok was talking to Martin as a toddler, and he said that there was a secret word in all of us that unlocks everything. It's like your magic sacred thing.
Mm-hmm.
It indicates to me, because Bartok later, he recognizes that the magic word is the same one that he referred to, years ago. And, I don't actually, I think this is interesting writing, and I almost regret that I nearly forgot about it. But it's interesting that, like, he knew this, that it was a secret thing that he wouldn't tell anyone. And then later in the movie, because he sort of honestly needed to, he thinks that the girlfriend might know it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he told you.
Well, yeah, that's what I was alluded to earlier, is like the relationship between Bartok and Martin is interesting. I just wish there had been more to it,
I suppose that's true. So the guards get in just as the teleportation sequence activates, and Bartok gets off one last dramatic no. And there's some dramatic but not too dramatic music. And the black door of the receiving end of the telepod opens to have just a gooey, horrible mess emerge.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah, I at first I thought it was two because it should be two, but I think that they're mostly loosely connected. Like there's some connective stuff.
Well, I was gonna say I have a note here. It's just quotes. Beth, please stop pulling my skin off. Because she just kind of like runs up to him and starts like pulling stuff off of him, and it's like, I don't know, like some of that might be necessary.
You don't know what's important and what's not.
Yeah, but no, she just starts.
I guess it was
really digging in.
Yeah, it's like that doctor at the beginning where he's just like, well, it looks like I can remove this, and so I shall.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what this is. I mean, thank God there was a human underneath, because otherwise that would have been really embarrassing.
Yeah.
But so Beth cleans the gore off of the second lump, and it's Martin, and he's all right. Whereas Bartok is less lucky. Yeah, Bartok is all the slurpy, goppy nonsense all over him.
Just the most terrible nonsense.
Oh man, you know they could have made that scene so much worse if she went over to the Bartok part first and tried to take his face off, like, and he has to like bat her hand away, like no, no.
Jesus. Good lord. Yeah, that
That's
would have been
me. That's me. Well, listen, they're already going for a really horrible ending. I mean, Bartok is now the combination of all the bad things from both of them.
Yeah.
So he's just like a pile of mangled cancer, basically.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, a combination of like a naked mole rat and like a bowl of tripe.
It is awful.
Yeah.
And he's got this one like single bloodshot eye that like works just well enough that he can look at stuff.
And it looks
kind of a bug-eyed way.
So human.
Like, kill me.
No, seriously.
No, seriously.
No,
yeah,
that's
no, this
like,
is that movie.
That's like, yes. Because yeah, what comes next, Peter?
Nothing. What?
Come on, man.
You mean the next scene?
Yes, the next scene. Come on.
Yeah, cut to later. Okay, down in the pit, Bartok has taken up residence. They open up the door. They push out the slop bowl with the rake, and out of the side of the pit emerges Bartok. And
Jesus. He's looking. He looks pitiful, piteous.
Yeah. And everyone's just watching him. It's like he's become like a circus freak, and they just went with it.
Yeah. No, I know. He became the thing to study.
I mean, I thought maybe he was married or something. You think that somebody would care enough to be like, no, you can't do this. It's possible, though, that they just said he died and they didn't say what actually happened to him. You know, just buried it.
Yeah. I mean, good lord. I mean, at that point, like, what do you even do? Can you even undo that? It might be better to just
I don't know.
It might be better to just say he's dead.
He could, I suppose, if he was able to get a healthy person, he could run the same sequence and make them become a horrible thing, and he would be okay.
Who would volunteer for that?
Nobody would. You would have to somehow contrive a series of events where, like, it would just work out. That, you know, like, he would get himself into the pod, and someone would try to take him out, and then he would close the door. You know, like, and just hope someone hits the button or something. You know, like, please, just let me have this one thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so he's just stuck, just horribly slurping just food out of a bowl for the rest of his wretched existence.
Yes. Like, probably one of the most messed up fates a villain in a movie like this has ever faced.
Yeah, it might be one of the darkest endings I've seen to a movie.
It has to be up there.
Could be. Well, I mean, there are other movies where worse things happen. You know, the world is doomed, or a nuclear bomb goes off, or something. But
Sure,
but just in
sure.
the stakes of the film itself, in
Yeah.
the universe of this story, this is just really bleak.
Yes.
And then just to bring it back, you know, to the imagery of this movie, as he's slurping out of the bowl horribly, they pan over, and there's just a fly sitting there, just, you know, just chilling out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great
that's the
ending.
movie, honestly.
Yeah. I love
Great
it.
ending, standing ovation.
Love it.
Bartok's dead. No, actually, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
worse than dead.
It'd be so much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be so much better if he was dead. That'd be a mercy.
Yeah. Do you have any overall thoughts about the movie?
I mean, it's like I said, I love it. It's starts off slow, but I do like the relationship that Martin has with Beth. And for all its faults, it has that wonderful last half hour or so.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in my eyes at least, totally redeems it. Wonderful.
I think that they needed considerably less setup at the beginning. I think that they should have started the movie with Eric Stoltz and not worried about. You didn't even need the stuff about aging quickly or any of that. I mean, I guess they needed a reason for Stathis to be the same age, but they could have just mentioned it and just not shown it, or just not have him in the movie because he doesn't do anything anyway.
No, I know. Yeah, there are things they could have done differently, but I don't know.
Yeah. All I'm saying is there should have been more Fly, and because I do like the last half. The kills are great. The special effects are borderline wonderful. Like they are quite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but overall for me, this is a gross, unpleasant movie.
Well, yeah, it is, but it's great.
Yeah, I mean it's a sweet story about an essentially, a homeschooled kid growing up and finding love. And then it's just overshadowed by all the goo and all the death.
I mean, you say overshadowed. I'd say improved.
I have a soft spot for weird horror films with lonely kids.
Yeah.
I guess I can't really say the film is objectively good, but I do find it quite enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
So, for me, thinking in a 1 to 10 scale about what it attempted to do and what it actually did, I think. I don't know if I want to. I think I might give it a really low one. I'm thinking 3 out of 10 actually.
Okay. I mean, judging it on the scale of like what it's trying to do and what I feel like it accomplishes, I'd go with a solid 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, like, there are some parts that I feel like would like, if there were more of them, would push the movie up higher than that. It just kind of
I mean
slow start.
I would just say there's the special effects are wonderful, and there should have been more of an emphasis on that. And I don't know. I guess I'm turned off by stories that get needlessly dark. I like darkness that's earned, I guess. Rather than just sad for the sake of sadness.
Oh, so speaking of needlessly dark, I alluded to the Fly 2 comic. So, like, just to kind of gloss over it, there's this whole like plot about turning people into like fly people to like take over and do evil bullshit. The whole story culminates though in there's sort of like this evil doctor who's like working alongside Martin to like kind of like cure or at least like understand all the weird goings on, who ends up shooting Beth in the head. She dies. And then Martin ends up trapped in another science laboratory, and it's like a permanent fixture of just like, hey, we're gonna make more of you.
Wow.
That's it. Okay. That's just the end. Yeah, that's the ending. It's it's needlessly dark.
So why did he shoot Beth? Was it just to prove a point or something, or did she do something?
She was like a fly person too at that point.
Oh god.
But yeah, okay, it goes into some like nonsense. But yeah, anyway, long story short, not worth rating. Don't think it'll be like a fun cheesy romp. It's bad. The art's really bad. It's done with like this 3D poser stuff, so they all look like Barbie dolls.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's just bad. Don't read it. I regret it. I'm never gonna do homework again because that just, there was no payoff there. I felt bad after reading it.
You know what? I'm glad you did it. It was kind of you to look up a dreadful story on our behalf.
Good Lord. Yeah.
So, you want to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is before I tell you?
Probably going to be lower than I'd give it.
Yeah, it's 29%.
Oh, that's bullshit. Come on.
I think it's because it starts with a failed pregnancy scene and then has a dog get smothered, about halfway through.
Be that. Okay, I mean, when you say it like that.
When you say it like that.
I mean, when you lay out the facts of the movie.
Yeah.
No,
those are the landmarks. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. I like the movie more than that. Rotten Tomatoes is wrong. That's why I don't look at their website.
Fake news.
No, Jesus. No, I'm not saying that. I disagree.
Well, and slightly better news, it's 36% on Metacritic. I guess if that makes you feel any better.
It does not.
There were no calls for a third film after this one.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. However, the film did make roughly, I think it's 6.7 million on its opening weekend. It was competing against a Nightmare on Elm Street 5, the Dream Child.
I did read that.
Yeah, which made a little bit more money. See, The Fly 2 made 6.7 million, and the Nightmare on Elm Street 5 made about 7 million. So, I mean, that's actually still pretty close for a sequel. You know, that's not bad.
Yeah, honestly. They maybe could have kept going, but I don't know.
I think there was a reason, a compelling reason why they didn't, and I'm about to lay it out.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Okay, well, I mean, this is just a theory, but
Sure.
I could not find the production budget for The Fly 2 anywhere, and I looked a lot of places.
Awesome.
I probably spent a solid hour just looking for the production budget of The Fly 2, questioning my life choices. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it probably cost
so-
way more than that. Or at
So,
least,
I mean, the movie looks, I mean, well, okay, the special effects are wonderful and they're great practical effects, but the rest of the movie looks like a cheap Roger Corman film from like 10 years before the original movie, if you know what I mean.
yeah. And no, you're right. It has a Carnosaur feel to it.
So it gives that feeling that they probably wildly overspent on the special effects because Chris Wallace is a special effects guy.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't make the money back, so they just buried how much they spent on it. That's my personal theory.
That seems pretty solid. I had no idea.
They made about 20 million overall up to today. I looked it up. It's about 44 million when you adjust for inflation.
Mm.
So I don't know. Maybe it eventually made its money back, but not right away. Certainly,
No,
if it was anything close to what I'm expecting.
I'd be surprised if it ever did during its run.
Okay, so for the last couple of our episodes, I've had something called the Joe Bob Roundup, and I realized recently that I can't do those. Not just for the legality reasons, because Joe Bob Briggs is alive and well and is still doing horror stuff, but also because he's done Joe Bob rundowns of the horror movies that I talk about. So like there would be a confusing overlap. People could contrast and compare his and mine. Anyway, it's just not a great move. So instead, what I've decided to do is I found on IMDb there's an index of keywords for every movie. I don't know if you've looked this up, but for the Fly 2, there was 104 keywords. I'm not going to read them all because there's too many, but I actually chose the first 20.
Go on.
And so I just want to see if you think that this sums up the movie pretty well. Okay.
All right. Hit me with
So here we go.
All right.
Scientist. Teleportation.
Makes sense.
Sex scene.
Yep.
Motel. Orphan.
Uh-huh.
Childbirth.
Yeah.
Laboratory animal. Laboratory.
Yep.
Woman on top.
Sure.
Male nudity. Voyeur. Kitten. Dying in childbirth. Mercy killing.
Oh no!
Cactus.
Oh no!
Access card.
Jesus.
Mutant.
What?
Dog and sequel.
It started so innocent, then just go like diaphragm to dying in childbirth. Oh my god, why? Why is there a tag for that?
I don't know. Hashtag dying in childbirth, I
Oh my
guess.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, folks, let's get that trending on Twitter.
No, well, please. Oh my God, please don't. But I love these keywords, so I think I'll probably be trying these out for the near future. At least,
Okay, yeah, I love that. Please keep doing that.
Okay. And, oh,
Oh no.
it really
All right.
summarizes things quite nicely, I think.
It really does.
So, yeah, I already mentioned the alternate ending where Beth and Martin are out on the dock, and one of his eyes is a different color. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think there's any other deleted scenes. Not that I heard about, or maybe just not that I care about.
No. I didn't even know about that one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to bring up before we're done with this thing?
I think that's it. I mean, fun movie. Avoid the tie-in comic. There you go.
Yeah. I think that about wraps it up. So I hope everyone out there has a better 2021. At least better than the 2020 we all had. I've been Peter. And
I'm still Jacob.
Yeah. And until next time,
For now.
This is Gorman on Gore.
Later.
He bugged me.